All right,
That's
wait,
what you like to hear.
wait, Victor, are you're gonna make the welcome everyone, right?
Yes. Welcome,
Good.
everyone, to the Hall of Cats podcast. Today, we are going over some exciting new lists for the upcoming Bilbo's Bash 2025 in our local scene here. I'm your host, Victor. We got our expert, Tomas. We have
Hello,
Caleb,
everyone.
a local
Hello.
legend. And we have Sam, a foreign legend.
I wouldn't say too foreign. I spend more time in Virginia than I'd like being from Maryland. But
Okay, well, fair enough. And so we have some compiled data to start us off. We're going to be talking about how the lists break down and how many were submitted. I think this format was interesting. It was 735 points. The banned lists were Eagles only and Smog.
And Smog, yeah.
And there's some interesting stuff that happens at this tournament. I think we'll save some of that for our list or our tournament review, should we have one.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and without further ado, get into it. We're looking first at the Army lists by, I guess by Army. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
And so
well,
I'll go ahead and let Caleb read those off for us.
all right. So, I guess I can't actually look at the stream here. So, yeah, the most common Army list is one that I myself am joining in on. Men of the West. There are 3 of us. I know it's me, Ted Cantu, and Tom Schutz. So we're gonna Ted and I had a disagreement about which version of the list was better. I was gonna bring the captain. He's gonna bring Gimli instead of Legolas and Aragorn. So we're gonna see which of those proves better, and it will definitely have nothing to do with the skill of Ted and myself.
You know, my heart says Gimli.
You're
but
not
my
bringing
brain
Gwa
says
here?
Captain.
No, just the captain.
I don't know if there's
but then-
Gwa here in this tournament.
There's Gwa. You can take There's a Adrian.
Yeah.
That's Gwa.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Adrian.
Right.
I know. I played against Adrian. Got wrecked by him. Against his Legless and Gwahir and Alistar. You know,
Which actually
3
means
problems.
that there is a 4th Men of the West. Somewhere
Yeah.
somehow this chart is incomplete.
Yeah.
I
think-
I only had 34 list.
Okay. Well,
so
there's 10 more. There's 44 people coming to this thing. I don't know where the list got lost. Maybe some of them didn't submit.
No, I think we
know-
only did tabletop admiral ones. Some of the ones. I think
no. Like you only sent me the.
Oh, I
You
sent
only
all.
sent me-
I sent all the
Oh,
ones
okay,
that I
okay.
had.
Sent
Yeah.
all-
Right.
It's
Ah, well,
fine.
it probably got lost in the copying over. That's probably what happened.
Sam,
Oh,
were
well.
you going to say something about Men of the West?
I was just gonna say it's tough to go wrong between LSR mounted and Legolas as an auto take. It's a very handy list and super versatile, and Ted should do a good job with it. Probably better than Caleb, for being honest.
I do
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Gimli. That's what I'm saying,
So-
man.
So
Look, here's the thing with Gimli. Like, he gets a lot of shit, and I would never play him because I don't play dwarves because they have less than 6-inch moves. But there's a lot of damage output between Legolas pumping shots into people, then Gimli goes in at +1 to wound, then he kills things, and Legolas bounces back. It's like, it's a fun little seesaw, I guess, as the player to manage that. So we'll see. But
yeah,
For sure.
I've taken that list before and did not have any success with the Gimli Legolas combo.
You beat me.
So
once.
maybe a better pilot would have better success with that list.
But there is no
yeah,
better.
I'm curious to see the breakdown of Minister to Rohirrim in the list. I had success with that at 700 points with a bunch of throwing spears, but shield wall on the Gondorians is super handy.
Yeah.
All right, so
You know-
let's go ahead and continue off in the list. So the next few, these are all tied for 2 appearances according to our numbers, which are a little bit
But
off.
maybe more.
Yeah, there may be
Fornos.
more,
Yeah.
one or more on some of these. So I think that's where the Rivendell thing happened too, Caleb. So Battle of
Yeah.
Fornost, Depths of
Yes.
Moria, Minas Morgul, Return of the King, Rivendell, the Black Gate, and the Last Alliance all have 2 appearances. What do we think about those
Yeah.
choices?
So I've played Fornost and Last Alliance quite a bit. I think Fornost, you at 735, you either go Glorfindel and Aarna and just max out their warbands. You can get up to 36 models like pretty easily with that, or you drop in a captain or whatever it might be.
I know there's one
Last in
Kiernan.
line. So I'm curious. That makes it interesting because he's a lot of points, and you're probably sitting at 30 models if I had to guess with that, because it's just with the way the heroes are costed, and you're bringing a lot of elves. You're probably only bringing one banner if that's the case. So that's very death ball-y. I think that list probably needs 2 banners with the way the battle line works. At least it feels a little bit more comfortable. But Kiernan, I haven't played him yet, but huge damage multiplier.
I did actually just play him today. A friend and I played the Battle of Fornos narrative scenario, and Call Winds is really fun. Like Call Winds is sort of just.
Call Winds is good.
I mean, I got lucky with it. I think I got it off every time, but like on a 4 is not bad, and it just like knocks a big thing out of combat. Like, his like Hill Troll didn't do anything basically the whole game because the Witch King was the only other person, like the only other big hitter. So
Fornos is going to do. I think obviously it's probably one of the better lists in the game right now.
Yeah,
all things considered, you look at there's 2 depths of Moria there, which is really really low. Sauron's in there.
I'm down.
There's
going to
be monsters. They're going to counter that. And then resistant to magic too. Like Army of the White Hand is one of those lists that's very, very good. And having resist on both your big hitters and everyone really is going to help out. And the thing with Fornos too is it's super versatile, like in how it deploys its offense, because you can bring 4, 5, 6 knights, whatever it is, get fight 5 on the charge, do a lot of damage on that, and then obviously you have your elf, tin can, battle line. You know, I'm assuming most people are going to bring elf bows and put them in front.
You don't rate a handful of Hobbit archers?
I would not. I've played Hobbit archers before in this list, and I am not a fan of foreigners move with 18 bows.
Sure.
Not my thing.
Just curious. Just curious.
I've seen people get it to. They take the Hobbit archers and they bring the numbers up to 40.
Yeah.
So
they go down pretty fast once the Hobbits actually starts fighting.
Well. I doubt you get into combat with those people. You just have them go get objectives.
Those people.
You know,
I don't think the Hobbit build is the wrong way to do it, but it's just not my preferred way to play the list. That's all I'll say.
Gotcha. Well,
and then Last Alliance is slow, so I'm curious to see how that plays out. But end of the day, a fight 5, strength 4 battle line with Whirl of Blades and probably the ring is always going to be able to do damage. Especially, honestly, in one of the scenarios that might get played this weekend, the Isildur is going to be a really, really handy tool for assassination if that pops up, just with fight 7 and getting him across the battle line to where you need him to go. So we'll see.
Can't strike up to it. You know, it's rough. Against the ring. I lost to Aaron on that in the last tournament because he had it. So those are our second appearances, I guess, or two appearances in the tournament.
Also, otherwise, Rivendell, good. Blackgate.
There's a little variation there. I think one has a captain, one has Lindir, and then Blackgate.
One has a Taskmaster. I think one might just have another captain, maybe, but otherwise it's... Oh, one has the other Troll Chieftain, one has a Taskmaster. But otherwise...
So it actually looks like... Sorry, it looks like there's 3 Last Alliance lists. It looks like there's no... Someone didn't put the in front of Last Alliance, so it counted it.
Oh, my bad. That was a data entry error. Okay, yeah. So there's 3 Last... I had a feeling. I'm like, man, there's a lot of Last Alliance lists. And then I'm looking, and there's only 2. It's like, huh. So strange.
Yeah. It's like we have Thranduil's Palace with 1 hall, and then Thranduil's Palace with multiple halls too.
Yo, it's hard manually inputting this, man. This is why there's I'm not a data engineer and a data analysis. I don't really scrub the data clean.
That's right. You're a Middle-earth expert. That's what you are.
I also know for a fact there are 2 Iron Hills players. They were just one of them was in a format that I guess Tomas didn't like.
No, dude.
All right, so
I don't know. I saw one Iron Hills that had this exact same.
It's probably Iron Hills and then
I was given 2 Iron Hills, but it was like they renamed it something, but them were like the same. I thought Victor copy and pasted the
Was it the one that was like Bilbo? bringing some
Bilbo's
boys
bash.
or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, Bilbo's
said.
bash. Hobbits are like bringing the pain. Some BS like that.
Well,
They
I think
had two of those.
there's two identical lists.
Yeah, oh yeah, and it was identical, and I was like super confused. I was like, oh, Victor just probably sent it over twice, you know.
Well, that.
But
They're always
but
trying to blame
that's
me.
you know, yeah, you know, I'm starting to not think it's my fault that this data entry is bad, and I'm starting to think it's further, you know,
Further up the chain.
upstream that the problem was happening.
We're gonna have to talk to our producers. Let's
Yeah. Someone's getting fired.
let's at
that's
least
for
read
sure.
off what we have for these one appearances. Well, Sam, you go ahead and do it.
All right, so it looks like we have Army of Edoras, which is interesting. I like kicking off with that. Haven't seen that on the table yet.
No,
Assuming they're going to proxy in the old Helm Hammerhand model for that, but
Groovy.
that can hit hard. I know Helm's fight 6. I think he gets free hero combats in that one. I don't know if he does or not. I don't remember off the top of my head. But he's still strength 5. Haleth is good. He's got a lot of might in that. Obviously a lot of mobility.
And
Army
Leaf,
of
right?
Gothmog. They're what?
Leaf, right? Leaf does some crazy stuff.
If you want to bring the kid in the list, by all means bring the kid. But I think I would stick with the family.
Sure, yeah.
And not worry with
if I
the kid.
if I was doing it, I vaguely remember a discussion of people saying like Leaf was really good or something.
People are saying a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Especially with what's coming out.
All I know is that Rohan is he's good at being bad. So
That's very true. I did lose a game to Kingdom of Rohan with Aemir and Theodred. That still has me licking my wounds from it. So it's not an awful faction, but they have a lot of fight for heroes that don't do a whole heck of a lot of damage. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, the captain.
Army of Gothmog, our gimped lieutenant of Mordor. I mean, look, Moranin's running into men list is pretty good. They got that conditional fight
It's kind
for.
of its only good thing, though.
Exactly.
If it doesn't go against men, it's not going to win.
And there's a list that does it better, and that's Muster of Isengard, when you just bring a boatload of berserkers with pikes behind it, and Saruman and Grima.
And Hatred
so
Man
if you want to slaughter
everywhere
men,
instead of just on some.
exactly, yeah, that can be devastating. Army of the White Hand, I think, has gotten to the point where it's good enough that if you're taking it and you're a bad player, it'll probably make you a good player. So no offense to anyone that's taking it, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. Barad-dûr, we'll see where it goes. I'm assuming Sauron, Soup, Witch King.
It's
do all that good
amazing.
stuff.
Yeah, I really like it.
Barad-dûr, is that you?
No, it's not me.
Oh,
but when I saw it, I was like, this is a Chad list.
Breaking of the Fellowship, interesting list. I think it got memed on a little bit after last edition, but I've played it once and it podiumed at the Richmond Open. So it's performed well recently, and I know the player who's bringing it. He's unfortunately good, so we'll see how that goes. But at the end of the day, you're pumping in 20 plus points of might, a bunch of Fight 7, Legolas, a lot of like Blinding Light, Elven Cloaks. You bring Haldir, a couple banners, so it can do some damage if you're not paying attention to it, and it's pretty versatile, all things considered. Birders Horde. When we go over the list, I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about that, but don't be deceived by Big B, because they can do some funky things. Erebor Reclaimed, depending on how they go, I think you either go like the full hero build, or you kind of go more of your traditional battle line build, either way, towards the dwarves. Halls of Thranduil,
Both
two
of them. You don't have to do each one individually.
Very good list. Very killy, very potent from a melee perspective. You have probably the best offensive model in the game with Legolas there. We'll see how that goes, but it's super versatile. It can do a lot of damage getting across the board with Fight 6 Knights if it needs to. Host of the Witch King. Honestly, I'm curious what you guys think about Host, because I think it's gotten kind of slept on since the expansion came out, like weirdly late last year, and I think it just kind of got brushed over with the new edition coming out, and it's kind of slept. At the end of the day, a Fight 6 Witch King that doesn't lose will when he engages, You
Fight
can
7
pump in
against
barrel
mid.
weights. Yeah, you get that. You
Yeah.
bring werewolves. Paralyze is still a nasty spell.
Yes,
I
It's
think
it is.
Host is a
insane.
very, very good list.
I agree
Yeah,
with you.
I think it's gonna be super good. I think the meta right now is monsters, resistance to magic, and so if you're not doing, no, you're not. It's not looking good for you.
You're cutting out a bit, Tomas.
And I think host has an okay hero hammer with the Witch King and what's it called? And then you just bring barrel rights for paralysis to deal with anything.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a problem.
If you're a Balrog player, all it takes is one bad roll on a resist check, and all of a sudden, 160-point barrel weight has your 350-point crown piece model on the floor. The Witch King comes in, calls a heroic strength, Morgul blades you. That thing's done in like 2 turns, and your whole army just falls to pieces. So it's still super potent, and barrel weights are still the most annoying model in the game to play against for sure.
Agreed. All agreed. It's why I didn't bring host this, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to do that. I did send. I did send Tomas a nightmare list that had 3 barrel whites.
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is so terrible."
The list that you're playing it's like a.
It's like a junior.
I would say
version
because of it's more killy, but it is like a. It's like a fair version, even though you do kill a lot more. I don't know what's worse, failing paralysis or just seeing your units evaporate to getting wounded on 3s and 4s.
I think it's paralyzed. I don't like not being able to do something. At least when you're fighting and getting evaporated, at least you got a chance to roll dice. But there's nothing worse than seeing a 5 high on a barrel weight, throwing 2 dice at you, and you try to 3 dice it, and you roll like a 3, and then all of a sudden you're SOL. So paralyzed can eat glass.
It plays perfect into the meta too, as you've been saying, Tomas, about it being monsters and resistance to magic. Like if you can get those big heroes down, that's it. Anyways, let's continue. Go ahead, Sam. Continue with our last few.
Yeah. So we've got Iron Hills, not a classic battle line Iron Hills, I'm assuming, unless someone's getting funky and bringing a chariot, which I hope not.
Someone is.
God. All right. Well, we'll talk about that later. Last Alliance we already went over. Muster of Isengard.
Alliance, yeah, not the last alliance.
Yeah, it's not the last alliance. It's a last alliance.
Yeah.
Muster of Isengard, I think, is one of those skew lists for sure. Like, it can do a lot of damage. All I'll say is that 2 attack berserkers, 2-handing with 2 pikes behind them can be super, super potent. And if this runs into Men of the West or just Men of the West, like, or if that's going to slaughter the Rohan list too. It's going to be one of those skew ones, but ultimately it doesn't get a lot of models on the board. And depending on how it's built, if it's crossbows, it's not going to be super mobile. So it can skew and frustrate you, but Reclamation of Osgiliath, I think, might be the most good little match list of all time. It doesn't do anything super, super well, but it doesn't do anything wrong. And it has a lot of might, a lot of models. Boromir is still a truck. 6-inch banner is still very, very good. Faramir is a sneaky good 100-point model.
He's so good.
I like Osgiliath. I've done well with it this year. And player bringing it is a good player. So happy to talk about that more. Rise of the Necromancer. Funky list. Haven't gone up against it.
I haven't either.
So
not
I
in this
don't have too much insight into it. But looking at it, it's so again, anytime you have a big ass model that can just throw dice casting, and you bring spiders and you bring these weird curveballs in a list that people aren't necessarily prepared for, it can get weird. So we'll see how it goes.
And we'll move on to the leaders after that. If I can, hold on.
Yeah, a strangely high. Wait, is it pop? Oh yeah. I guess it's like how is it?
I mean, this is probably a little off, but maybe it's more accurate actually, since it's just based on the model and there's no like the Elrond or anything.
Oh yeah.
No. This one is accurate. Like for example, there are 6 Aragorns. I didn't separate between Strider and Elisar, for example.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I thought we were gonna use Power BI. It has an interaction so that the visuals interact with each other, so you can see like, oh, there's 3 Men of the West, and then there's one. There's 2. What is the one with the ghost? Return of the King, and then there's one Breaking of the Fellowship. That's
Aragorn is absurdly good this edition. It's just like the 3 point of might in an economy, especially in a might economy where a lot of people are going to bring 2 big heroes and they're running at 6 might. Just being able to have that 3 point of might every single turn at the end of the game when you need to call that move to set tempo is super, super handy. And then obviously Anduril is very, very good. So he's probably one of the better models in the game. Elrond, not surprised.
I have to add something to Elisar with his 3 point of might. That's felt bad. I had Denethor with Minas Tirith, and I used his ability to win priority, but then I still lose priority because he just calls a heroic move. That's one of the worst feelings. Yeah. It's like, why did I even win priority if you're just going to call a move?
The Gorn, dude. Yeah. He's got you.
There's just so many things. Like, if that list goes up against Host of the Witch King, you just have Aragorn chilling, calling that free heroic resolve every turn. If you need to win, if you need to shoot, like if you have Legolas in a good position, you just call a free heroic shoot. If you need to pop some archers or whatever it is, it's super, super good, and I'm not surprised to see him there.
And he has access to all the heroic abilities, so that's also
and he's
helpful.
Fight 7, and his resist to magic. He's got 2 layers of resistance to magic, all things considered. So,
which was his main counter last edition.
And Fight 6, that was the big thing. It's Fight 7 now.
Yeah, and then Elrond, solid piece. He's got his foresight. Fight 7.
He's 7,
with Wrath and in lists where he can pair off with like Isildur and things. He's really strong.
I mean,
Elrond, from experience, Elrond is good. I think you run into a couple issues with him. Is that he doesn't have resistance to magic, and you want to use his will offensively to get a couple Rats of Brunnen off. So you're worrying about that. So you kind of have to play a game. It's obviously like matchup dependent, and that's going to be the context for every part of the conversation that we have about stuff today. But like,
doesn't Isildur give resistance to magic, or is that only to Numenor?
Yes. That's only in the Numenor list.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's only Numenor. Got it.
So, look, Elrond's good, and like there are a bunch of spirit models in this tournament, and Hadafang gives that +1 to wound versus them. So going up against a Balrog, if it's Rivendell, you just slip in Bilbo. If he somehow gets across the board, get him into the Balrog, got Elrond in there, you can get some good damage off. If this goes into Return of the King, for example, like he's wounding ghosts on 5s, then you two-hand and he's wounding them on 4s. So you can do some very situational high damage with Elrond, all things considered. So
we got the Witch King next. Always
classic.
Always a show. Yep. Always here basically. He's a solid piece even with the removal of like the crown rerolls and things like that. He's still really good.
Fight 6 is very good. You don't need to worry about sending him into a couple elves, losing the roll off, and then losing your horse or taking like a cheeky wound and burning all your fate because you rolled like a 2 high on all 3 of your dice. So that Fight 6 was a massive boon.
It's big. It's real big. We got the Balrog. Another consistent showing for this edition especially is like that's kind of the benchmark. If your list can't fight Depths of Moria, then maybe it's not the list to take.
Unfortunately, the Balrog is the poster child for the January 2025 to June 2025
Definitely,
SPG 1.0 edition. He's just very, very good, all things considered.
And the buff
the
for
biggest
him,
thing with
it didn't even come from his profile or anything like that. The buff to him came from the nerf to strike.
Yeah.
Which is just in the rule, so it applies everywhere in every matchup. So it was big. It was a big change for him.
The sport monster changed a lot. In that, like you can't just risk free put like a bunch of guys around him. Like he can both barge them out and just kill the spear sport.
Yeah,
you have to deal with them too in a bunch of scenarios with the end on break rule. You can't just work around on goblins given the army special rule, so you have to find a way to deal with them or strategically use the time allocated in the scenario to best put yourself in a spot to win that scenario later in the game. So it causes a lot of frustration when you're trying to beat him in certain areas, particularly like hold ground or something like that.
Ground, yeah.
So
he's real tough in hold ground. Ariner, I think you're most familiar with him, Sam. I don't have him. I want him.
The dumbest king in Gondor's history, intelligence 6+. Ariner's good.
He wasn't about
if
intelligence.
Not very good.
He's about valor.
He's 6+ intelligence. He's just as dumb as Gimli, and he's dumber than Birder, which is funny.
That is
Arner
is a cunning guy, man.
Yeah. Arner is not cunning. He's very straightforward, which I appreciate. But the big thing with Arner is the Wombo combo with him and Glorfindel, where you get both of them in a hero, or the Balrog or whoever. You get up to fight 10, Glorfindel comes in. So there's a lot of ways to use him. And then even if you just want to set him into troops with the lance at fight 6 or fight 7 on the charge, he's wounding things on 4s for the most part. But end of the day, you still have to be a little bit careful with a 3 wound, 1 fate leader model. Like if you get overextended, if you have a bad roll.
Does he have to charge?
He has to charge heroes if he can. But you can. Okay. So that rule barely comes up. You can block yourself off. You don't need to move him first. So like if there is a hero, you can just kind of like troop position yourself out to facilitate where he's going. So it's nowhere near as annoying as like Theogen's Reckless or something like that, where he has to charge something every turn.
Gotcha.
But if you're not careful with where he is on the field and where your other models are, you can get yourself in weird scenarios. But still, he has a way of getting fight value to where it needs to be versus effectively everything. So in a duel, which is his whole gimmick, like he's probably going to be okay, or at least get to a 50-50 roll-off, which at the end of the day isn't bad. So
yeah, I mean, it's super reliable. Mordor Troll Chieftain, the beefy chiefy.
I haven't played with him yet, but I want to. So I'll let someone else talk about him. But I think a fight 8 monster with 3 might that is fearless is very, very good.
I played against him at the Richmond Open, and he was horribly susceptible to magic. He didn't do anything all game, and that was really sad because he's such a cool model. And I don't know, I was playing as I should, like using magic, and he just couldn't do much. I mean, he has what, 2 will or 3? 2 will, right?
I think he's 2 will.
I thought, he goes up from 2/1/1 to 3/2/2.
Yeah, 2 will.
Yeah, he gets that one.
Not much to resist. I mean, the person I was playing had another troll as well, so his numbers were really low, and I was able to just magic the 2 trolls. But I think that the Chiefy has a spot with maybe other supports like Mouth of Sauron and things like that.
Yeah, I think like if you're running 2 trolls, like obviously you want your big daddy chieftain to be doing work, but ultimately most lists with casters only have 1 caster. So if it frees up the other troll to do some work, you're not in an awful spot. I'll say that. So
cool. Saruman.
In muster and white hand, I'd say still. I don't know how much. He technically is a little better. Yeah, I mean, he obviously has the super spells in Army of the White Hand, so he's great in that.
The -1 makes him so good.
But even just testing.
-1 on your targeted hero, and then having like 18-inch range on transfix just makes him so damn annoying. Because like when the battle lines meet, you're still effectively never going to get away from transfix in any iteration of it, but being able to do things from effectively another move turn away if you need to, in terms of like advancing or
unless you have like a Gwai here or something, you're not going to be able to combat into or anything. So
exactly.
Cool. Yeah, I also think Saruman is really solid. Thrandaddy.
2 halls Thranduil.
2 of them.
King of the Elves.
Well, there's one. What was it? 1 hall of Thranduil and another halls of Thranduil. So it's like
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Thranduil is fun. I've played him a couple times recently. In halls, it depends on. I think you want him on foot. The elk. I haven't played him on elk yet, but that base is weird. Even though it's enticing. If you want to win like a best painted, then run the elk. But on foot, man, you just keep him in a battle line. As long as he's not transfixed, he's just rerolling a wound. He's got an elf behind him at +1 to wound, so he's killing a lot. He's got the free heroic combat, so you kind of have this Beyblade of a leader just spinning around killing things left and right. So look, fight 7 with elevated weapons is good.
You got what's her name? The girl elf who I forgot.
Toriel.
Yeah. You have her. She's doing that same thing, and then you have Legolas in the back who's just taking his shots. It's really
it's very annoying. Legolas and Toriel is apparently very good. People have said, I've heard people said you just send her off to go do something important, and she's just like 1v5ing. Yeah,
because you don't worry about her getting trapped because she gets more dice in the dual roll if she's trapped. So it's like if you're rolling 5 dice with 3 might against a bunch of troops, like you're gonna win that fight, and you're probably gonna kill every single model or most of them that's engaged with you. So, Thranduil's good.
Here's Boz. Tomas, what do you think about Boromir?
Boromir,
Snoramir, buddy.
That what is the point of selling like a model that's $35 with a banner, which you have to take with a banner only to use in one army list?
I mean,
remember at the beginning of the stream,
I digress,
where Tomas said that he wasn't salty.
You know what it could be? There's another army list that we haven't seen yet in the leaks that's going to come out that's going to give Boromir the banner, bro. That's what it is.
All right.
How did I not think of this,
I don't
bro?
know. How did you not think of it? I thought you had your ear to the GW inner workings.
That's what it's going to be. But yeah, Boromir's good. He's still good. Sucks that more lists can't take him with a banner. Kind of sad that the banner just wins eyes now. But Boromir's still good. Still has 6 might, 3 will, 3 fate, fight 7. Yeah, that's and
the +1 to wound,
and then what's it
is
called? 3
also
wounds.
Like should not.
The
be
natural
ignored.
the natural
huge.
charge thing is nice. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
Especially
that buff with the charge, and also he has a horn, so everyone within 18 inches gets a +1 courage. So
which is nice, especially with tin cans being 7+ curves. They have a tendency to run or not charge things. So any little help goes there. The other thing with the charge bonus too is like it doesn't matter if he's mounted or not. So if Legolas snipes your horse, you can still get 3 dice in a fight at +1 to wound, which is good. And if he's the leader, he's in Osgiliath, and if he's in Osgiliath, he has Faramir, and if he has Faramir, that effectively means he has 6 will. His Faramir has 3, and you can use them interchangeably between the 2 brothers. Nobody's going to cast on Faramir, and he has resistance to magic. So you have this like 6 to 9 might hero with 6 will, just bouncing around things.
The free because of Faramir, you have the free resolves, which will give Boromir the resist if you can just last to like halfway through the game or so.
Yeah, that's
you need to die.
Yeah, I guess
to die fast, and
I guess that's true. You would die, but
you gotta.
It still seems
do house rules and do like stabs. That's
God.
what you gotta do. House rules and use stabs.
Stabs. Kill yourself quick.
Yeah.
Because then, I mean, then you can get that on Boromir, and I think it stacks with resistance to magic, right?
Yes. Wait, actually, I'm not too sure.
Oh, wait. Actually, it literally might say gives those within range resistant to magic.
Maybe. I don't know off the top of my head.
All right, well, we'll continue. We got Birder, who you have some things to say about. Sam, I've not had the pleasure of playing against this cunning lad.
I'll talk about this more when we go over the list because my thoughts are more directed to the other things in this list that I'm assuming are being brought. But Birder, look, so he's a fight 7 monster that can throw stones, that can deploy anywhere on the board with his special rule. He's an interesting model for sure. And I think last edition, he's a little bit laughable. But he's good. And he's got 3 will now instead of 1, so he's not as susceptible just being transfixed the entire game. And, a strength 6 monster hero is very, very good, especially one with strike.
He's pretty cheap,
too,
right?
Nice.
What is he? How many points is he?
130.
If I had to guess, yes, it'd be like 150, 160 points, something like that. Maybe it's not too crazy, but like the list doesn't have a lot of other like point sinks in it, so he's easily affordable with what it is. So
we have Dane Ironfoot, Lord of the Iron Hills.
Old and slow.
He's only 130.
130. Yeah, so Burger's
130. Yeah, that's a steal.
Dana's fight 7 now.
Dane's fight 7, got his rocket sausage, all that.
Yeah.
I think the only limiting thing for him is if
his movement. He moves 8 inches.
Yeah, his movement, of course. All dwarves. That's the issue with all dwarves. But see, I think the issue with him is partially the lists he's in. Like, I know he's in some good lists, but in those lists, I don't know if he's an auto take among other heroes that are also really good.
If this is the Iron Hills list, I think the faction itself right now, this iteration is just uninspiring. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
this is the Iron Hills list.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah.
We have Gil Gadaddy.
This Gil Gadaddy is part of Last Alliances, not the Last Alliance.
Oh, it's Last Alliance.
Last
it is
Alliance.
One of them, I see. Gotcha.
Ooh, oh, they've got to be bringing the High Kings. That's my jam. I'm happy to talk about that later. So look, the base fight 9 is very, very good, especially with the nerf to strike. Obviously, him not being able to strike to 10 can be a little bit annoying, but ultimately, I don't think it matters as much as people think. The biggest downside with Yogolad is 1 Fate and D7, and the fact that he's going to be bouncing around. Doesn't have a horse anymore. Doesn't have resistance to magic in Last Alliance. So, like, he can be neutered pretty easily, but he's got challenge. He's got strength. He's a natural +1 to wound. Elven Maid Sphere with Iglos. Lord of the West still causes terror. So, like, he has a lot of tools in his belt that's handy. And I think if you underestimate him, you're doing it at your own peril, all things considered. Just if you're going to go up against him, just make sure you have some kind of magic in your back pocket, but I don't think you want to engage him directly unless you're comfortable striking up over fight 9. So
again, our expert, magic is the way. Gothmog.
Yeah, just bring magic. If you want to have a fun time, bring magic. If you want to have a bad time, either don't bring magic or don't bring resist to magic.
If you want to have a fun time, tournaments should just ban magic in general and just let everyone fight it out like normal people.
Yeah, if you got rid of magic, there'd be so many more viable lists. And you got ban monsters too, because not everyone's just gonna bring
All right.
Let's not start the ban.
We're gonna start banning everything but Boromir.
I honestly think you have to ban Gwahir, Elisar, the evil armies, all evil armies, bro.
All of them. Just scratch the whole column off.
Mm-hmm.
Next,
except Dragon
speaking
Emperor,
of evil,
of course.
Oh, Dragon Emperor, yeah, he's the real Chad.
He's the only good evil army, bro.
Gothmog, who we've spoken about a little before, but now he is terrible. Last edition he was good. This edition, there's no way to take him.
Let's be honest though, in the movies, which is what is broken, he's bad in it. You have to remember, in the movies, he's a cripple. Like with a limp arm.
Why keep him so
it's movie accurate to what it is.
Caleb, that is the issue. I think he should be like 85. Like
that's fair.
Ballin, He's like kind of a Ballin type in the role he suits, right?
He's what does Ballin do? That
well, Ballin's like by Erebor times, like he's old, he only has 1 attack, I think, right?
Yeah,
like he's not about fighting. No, I'm talking about Ballin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they should have made him more of a support character.
Right.
Still kept him on his warg, but gave him more support skills because he is, disabled. He walks with a limp. He has a crippled hand.
He is disabled. Yeah.
So when I first saw him, that he's like a fighty hero, it's just like. That doesn't make any sense that he's a fighty hero.
I agree with you on that too, Sam.
He's physically disabled.
From the movies, you wouldn't think that's what he would be.
He was a better fighter than Theoden.
That is so strange. That is so strange to me. All right. Well, speaking of the House of Errol, here we have Helm Hammer Hand.
He's great. He does, yeah. He gets the free combats. He's fight 6. He's strength 5, +1 to wound. Better than the strength 6, no +1 to wound. Helm Wraith
version, yeah. No, I think this is the way. If you're gonna run Helm, you got to do Kingdom.
D7 with 3 Fate too, if I'm not wrong. So he's a little bit more survivable than his counterpart when he's on foot. So just a rock solid beat stick on a horse, which is just classic SPG. So can't go wrong with that.
Heck yeah. And then we have the Dark Lord.
I'm glad they made him garbage, like Rohan garbage. That way you're not forced to buy Hammerhand.
Yeah, that's what it was. Tomas, can you turn on your light? You're so dark.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Speaking of Caleb, can you address the camera like a normal person? You're just standing there to the side looking at absolutely
speaking
nothing.
that way
What
too,
are you
to where
doing?
no one can hear what he's saying.
Painting.
You gotta pay attention, man. Like, what are we doing? You're
this
painting,
way.
you're not paying attention.
This is you know.
There you go. There you go. Move that. Oh wow. There we go. Now we're cooking.
Why are you wearing a polo?
Because I had a job interview today.
Wasn't that this morning?
Yeah, I went to go play Fornost and then haven't had a chance to change since.
There's a narrative.
Do you think if you dressed better or worse, you would have played better or worse?
Against for Fornost? Or just in general? I mean, I kind of wasn't playing very seriously. I just threw Aerner into the Witch King, even though I could have charged a Barroway. It was accurate.
That was accurate, yeah, totally.
Gotta play Theme.
If you're not playing lore accurate, I don't think it's even
You're
worth
really
playing.
You're
or
not actually playing.
Or like you're not actually playing the game. You know, this game is all about lore accuracy. That's why they made it into army list and not like yellow soup everywhere.
That's why you play Gondor versus Rohan all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you play Gondor versus Rohan. That's why you play Hobbits versus Easterlings, versus Dragon Emperor. I think Dragon Emperor was in most of the movie. People just didn't notice him.
He is. He's in every scene.
I'm pretty sure he's in every scene. Yeah.
All right, wait.
We're on Sauron now. The Dark Lord Sauron, that is, not the Necromancer.
Sure. He will be, yes, he's being played in a very small list that is being played so that Ashley, or that Sherry doesn't have to bend over much because
it's cool. I think the list is fun, even though it has magic. So then we have
Dominant 10 is very good.
Dominant 10 is huge. All the same stuff really for Sauron, right? He didn't have too many things change. He does have aura of confusion,
disarray,
or whatever it's called. Disarray, that's what it is.
Disarray. Intelligence checks.
Yeah.
Especially crucial when playing a power.
Yes.
They should have made him 350 points and then given him a field wide banner.
Also, was anyone else surprised, by the way, that there's not an intelligence check for picking up the heirloom in Heirloom of Ages Past?
No, I'm not surprised because that's what would have made sense, but they decided not to do it, so it actually makes sense that they didn't do it.
It's on point for them, right?
Yeah, it's GW character,
All right, I guess that makes sense.
Then we have Sauron the Necromancer, 25 will that he can use his fate, and he gets all his little bonuses with the Nazgul of Dol Guldur.
Who's got a lot of spells.
He can cast 2 per turn.
If you will. 3 per turn.
3 per turn.
3 per turn, 2 per turn.
Is it 3 per turn?
It's 2. I think it's 2.
No, the Necromancer is only 2 per turn.
3 per turn.
3 per turn is insane. Because his transfixes on a 3, it would just be like bam, bam, bam. Oh, your 3 big heroes are transfixed again this turn too. Wow, what do you know?
He can do. He's got a 12-inch wither at 4 up, which can absolutely delete things if he wants.
Is disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk more about wither later, but yeah, very good caster.
Solid. Now we just need to talk about the king under the mountain, Thorin himself.
He's good. Fight 7.
He's not bad. I mean, if he could solve a goat, he'd be a lot happier, but oh well.
I'm sure he'll get one later. I don't know.
I'm not. I don't think he'll ever. Yeah.
Who knows?
Sad.
All right. Well, let's get into the list proper.
Please.
Then. We'll turn that off. Turn that on. We're going to start with Aaron. I know they all say PNG or JPEG just because I was too lazy to type all their names in. But I did get all their names. It's just, you're going to have one of those in the back of it.
First thing I notice is only 3 bows, which probably not best and last. The crux of this list is like you need to put your opponent in a situation where they need to decide whether or not they want to charge you and risk Royal Blades or chill and get shot by a bunch of strength 3 bows. I think only bringing 3
Here they
kind
can
of
just
neuters
choose
you
not to.
there.
I think it's because the 2 banners. I think that's the reason why he has so few bows.
That's fair. I think you'll still be able to do damage, but the problem with bringing only melee models is that you put yourself in the driver's seat of wanting to charge because your opponent has no reason to charge you now if they outshoot you. So it's a little bit concerning there. And no horse on Elrond, I don't think is the best play, all things considered. Like the list is slow in general.
Yeah, I think you need the horse on Elrond.
I mean, but they do have your double banner, Sam.
Yeah. I did play against this list as Rivendell. It was tough to fight as a low model elf army, but I think other lists, especially evil ones that have like ring detriments and things, will not have to worry about it as much.
Yeah, I hate shooting wars, but this is one of those lists where you want to max your bows. I think all things considered, just eat the D5.
And your elves still get their 2-handed weapon, and if you want to put them in the front,
exactly
for combat, so that's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the last alliance. Isildur we talked about. He's pretty terrifying with that ring.
I'm assuming he has the ring. I don't see it in the war gear, but he should have it if he doesn't.
I mean,
it's a little bit more of a scalpel now because you can't just like dogpile a motto with Isildur and 17 people. It has to be a one-on-one effectively, but it's still a super handy tool and a fight 7, strength 5, heroic strength model that can
I'll tell you what Aaron does with this list is he calls a heroic challenge with Isildur.
Smart. Yeah. You put him into a Balrog, you challenge something and just slaughter it.
Yep. That's exactly it. So it has some tricks. I agree with the bow. I think there may be more bows. The thing is, the banner is really important for a list like this. It's hard to say. We'll see how Aaron does. I think this is a pretty strong list.
Aaron's a good.
Yeah, and Aaron's a good player.
I'm curious. It's a ballsy. I like the list. I like the idea behind the list, but I'd be concerned about the lack of push pull that you're putting on your opponent sometimes. So
it's true because if this comes up against Dale, what are you doing? What is your play?
Actually, you know what? Against Dale, it might be better because you don't have any bows to put yourself in the situation where you might want to shoot back. You just march forward.
You're not even tempted by it. You're just like, let me march. No. Yeah, I'll just take the shots.
You just stand in a corner and you only give him one lane to shoot, and then you just march up behind as much terrain as possible. Just eat your wounds and then get in there and start killing all those Dale guys.
I want to see the coming standoff between the Knights of Dale and the Whirl of Blades.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It'll be just no one charges each other. Oh gosh. All right, so that was Aaron's last alliance list. Next, we have Adam's Depths of Moria. It's stock and standard. Here he is, the Balrog.
Chalk. I don't. There's not much to say about it. It's just you scoot the Balrog forward, you whip things forward, you hurl things, you call for your hero combats, you then inevitably flub a roll when you're trapped, and then take some wounds. But it is a super versatile list. Has a lot of damage, has a lot of coverage, and the Balrog is one of the toughest things in the current game to deal with. So Adam's a good player too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't
I played against this list. It feels very. I played against him with this list. Against this list, when you have a lower model count and you have to answer like his questions, it feels really bad because you have to answer the Balrog. You have to answer all his models. He's the one asking questions, and you're the one that has to have the answers, and it feels bad.
I love the asking questions.
Yeah,
that's why he's our expert.
He always starts with how was your day, and then my models don't say anything, and then it feels bad.
How was your day?
Yeah, the Balrog is always he's actually like pretty polite when he's not telling you.
Yeah, so Depths of Moria, it is.
Got a couple questions for you.
Yep. How's your day? How you doing, man?
How's it going, man? Hope you're dead.
Goodness. Yep, that's Adam's. Not much else to say about that. It is very.
It's a coward's list, bro.
It's a coward's
I agree with you 100%.
It's a coward's list. The Balrog is a coward's list. If you're brave, you take something It's a little
Like Boromir,
it
right?
has a little more push and pull to it.
Like
I
Boromir,
agree.
right?
Yeah.
Like Boromir or Minas Tirith or Gothmog.
It's just not the one with Gwai here. It's not the one with Gwai here.
Yeah.
This is the one with Gwahir right here.
I know. Ugh,
Adrian.
I hate birds, dude.
Yeah, this one, bro, played against it.
I also lost.
The Gwahir's super annoying. He's always has been. You know, he has 3 questions. Elisar, Legolas, and Gwahir. You know,
I love this question thing. It's got to be your new thing,
like,
Tomas.
I played against him. He's like, yeah, you know, Gwahir's just there. Like, I don't care if you like go in and like dogpile him, because I'll just call defense. You know, he's just there to be a tough cookie, and then like, you know, then Elisar just rolls up, calls a combat, kills 4 people in 1 turn, and he's just killing 4 people every turn. And then it's crazy. I played against him the other day. I trapped his Elisar, but then he managed to untrap him by pinpoint shooting into the combat, and it's just like
feels bad.
Oh, I won the combat, but because one trap, I didn't get to kill on Elisar. So you know, it's like Legolas is that get out of jail for free card with Elisar sometimes.
Yeah,
I think he did the right thing by taking as little bows as possible. You don't want bows on this list outside of Legolas that does enough damage with his bow.
Yeah.
He's his own
I think
shooting.
Legolas with an Elven Cloak is a smart move because you can do some secret agent stuff with him, just popping him behind terrain. He can't get shot at. You can send him around wherever you want. You don't necessarily need him in the battle line because you've got that 3 point of might to kind of dictate things. And it can get into your opponent's ass really quick with that 3 point of might to march up too. So it's not going to spend a lot of time trudging up the board. So definitely a death ball list. Lower model count, but every single hero on this is very, very good, and you have to take that seriously.
You got to answer those 3 questions. If you don't, it's not going to work out for you.
Yeah, bro. The weakest link is Legolas, but you shouldn't
but you can keep
be getting him into combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your weak link is Legolas, you're in a good spot.
Yeah, you can, but you know, he shouldn't be, you know, right there in the front. You know, 2v1ing, 4v1ing,
no,
you know.
Absolutely not. I don't think you have him in combat unless you absolutely need to, or he's getting its infantry to springboard another heroic combat or something like that. So
terrific. Yep, that's Adrian's Men of the West. Then we have Andrew B's Rivendell. This is the one with the captain instead of Lindir.
Oh, we've got how many Rib Knights? 7. That's 8. That's not bad. No, well, you have 11 mounted models, so it's super mobile.
Low.
I think it's fine. Yeah,
If you run into something like Army of the White Hand or something, it could get a little dicey with all these mounted models. Just one lightning and they're all messed up.
Oh yeah, but this is where you don't run into them, bro. You play your odds and you don't run into that list. That's how you win.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the tips you gave me about that too, Thomas.
Yeah, you
just
can
don't play lists
lose to the Balrog if you don't play against the Balrog.
Right. That's why he's our expert, because he has these thoughts, you know. Also, 2 banners in this list, so that's nice. 13 bows is also big. So this list would just say to Last Alliance, like, just I'm not going to charge you. I'm just going to shoot you.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the list where, like, after your move phase, you just look at your opponent and just say, "Sorry, man," as you not engage any single one of his models for the 2-hour round, and it's a brutal game for everyone.
Yep. And that is Andrew B's Rivendell. We already talked about Elrond. Did we want to mention anything real quick about Arwen?
Yeah. No, I want to mention that he's got 8 points on the board. That he's got 727 points. He could put shields on his 4.
Good pointing that out. I didn't even see that.
He might have. What could have happened was that he might have like just forgot, and then he still has it on, and I don't know.
I mean, he has some warriors.
He might have in reverse submitted it wrong. That could have happened. And then Chris Hobart might.
Yeah, maybe he has like
let him
4
take it back.
Rivendell warriors with spear and shield in one of these warbands. I don't know. He has no spears at all, which is interesting.
It is
By the way,
very interesting.
we are about to be joined here by Alisher Emanov.
Why?
terrific.
We were having a good time already. I'm kidding.
What's the point of sending you to ETA? Well, I was packing and lost track of time. Anyway,
He was also streaming and lost track of time. Well, everyone take a good look where Caleb is. That's where he lives, Just take note of it. Let's move on to the next list.
Yeah, please.
Oh, well, I was just going to put you in front of it.
Here is Ashley's Return of the King. We have Aragorn, King of the Dead, and, of course, Legolas. And they have all Warriors of the Dead. I think you can only take that in this list, though, right? Warriors of the Dead.
Yeah, you can only
take.
All Warriors of the Dead. No Riders, no Heralds, no Gimli.
I honestly think you take Gimli. Do you have to take the King of the Dead?
You have to, yeah. You have to take.
Okay, I was like, I think you drop the King of the Dead and you take Gimli if you're taking the King of the Dead.
Gimli is strong, but
you have to take the King.
Oh, you have to.
I need the man.
Yeah, you have to.
So I don't think missing riders isn't a big deal because you already have 8-inch move on everything, and you have a free point of might to march. Look, the list was bad last edition. I think it's pretty fine now. At the end of the day, though, like you have these conditional fight 4 models that are base fight 3, and like you still lose a lot of fights, but you're relying on Aragorn to cut through a lot on foot, and you're really putting a heavy burden on him to do.
And he has only D5 in this list, so that's kind of rough.
That's the thing, man.
Yeah.
Look, if you run Aragorn into a Legolas, here's the thing: you have Legolas pinpoint shotting Aragorn every turn.
Yep.
At least he has an Elven Cloak, so he's only hitting on 3s now. But like D5 is prone to a flub, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, my 200-point hero is gone because I'm getting wounded on.
He's actually 165. Anduin's free.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
my bad.
Real.
Sam, are you hiding your face so people don't know that you're giving terrible takes? Did you just say that Return
No,
of the
I just
King
don't have a camera, Alisher.
You just said
I
that
don't have a
Return of the
camera
King
on
was
my
a
thing.
bad list last edition, and it's a bad list this edition.
It's not a bad list this edition.
He said
You
it
said
was
it was a bad list last edition.
Last edition.
It was
he did.
bad last edition. It was a
fine list last edition. There was nothing wrong with last edition Return of the King.
But there's less wrong with it now.
It's better.
There's a massive thing wrong with it. You don't get a 6-inch banner from Aragorn.
What? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but even better, you get banner VPs by taking a Warrior Dead with the banner.
Well, you could always do that. You could have a 9-inch banner last edition.
I wouldn't know. I didn't play the damn list. I played it like 2 times.
You guys are reviewing lists, and you don't even know what you're talking about.
I didn't know that you didn't get the Aragorn.
It was.
I'm not going to take shit
last
from the
edition.
player today. We're not doing this. When we get to Alisher's list, I'm going to have a lot to say about that, buddy.
I don't know if we have it on here. I don't know if Caleb sent it to me.
Oh, we'll talk about it.
Well,
Even if it's not on here,
we
we'll
know
talk
what
about
it is. We know what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to Ben B. He's playing Minas Morgul with the Witch King, an Orc Taskmaster, and an Orc Captain. 2 Spectres in there. He has a Troll as well with a drum. And 2 banners. Just a spattering of Morannons, but mostly Mordor Orcs, which is how I think you should do that.
Yeah.
I think there's value in having a Morannon front line. Strength 4 is very good, especially if you run into good lists that are higher courage. But ultimately, if you want to pump numbers out, then this is how you take it. And 44 models with a drum on a troll is still very swarmy. So,
I think the math on that is that it's actually better to take Mordor Orcs unless you're in a meta that takes a lot of humans. You're always better off taking Mordor Orcs.
They are 50%.
Yeah, did you see the list? I will say, like, you can't know that going into the tournament, but going into this specific tournament, I think he probably would have wanted more Morannons, all things considered.
There are quite a few now.
Yeah, the Troll Drum is interesting. I was on the Troll Drum bandwagon, but someone made a point somewhere else that you kind of want your drum not engaged so you can reposition quite a bit, and ultimately you want the troll in combat. So it feels like one of those things where it's like you drum up 2 turns and all of a sudden he's engaged, and then you lose the value of the drum, or some of the value of it, not all of it, obviously, because you've gotten in the past. But
Well, how often do you want to call a march in a game? So usually every time, I guess most times you're calling 2 marches and then your heroic march is out. So
you're underestimating the ability of that, because like let's say you're playing domination and they put their let's say you're playing Reconnoiter, you're marching every turn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And in domination, you can line up on the line of scrimmage. They're probably going to play back because they got a lot of models, and then you march up, you block off areas that you need to, and all of a sudden they're trying to figure out how to get around 44 models.
But it's also why I think I agree with Sam here that I think the orc drummer is the way to go. You can bring a troll, sure, but like the drum on it, the problem is you have to drum with him and you can't charge with him, which sucks because then you have a 100-point model that's not being used.
For sure.
That's Ben B. Let's move on to Bruno. He's bringing Builder's Horde. Here it is. Now, Sam, unleash the floodgates. I'll ramble
about this. All right, so I'm going to ramble about this, but I'd rather hear you guys talk first because otherwise I'm going to be going on forever. So I will sit down for a little bit.
Is this just Wither? Is he just trying to Wither?
So there is something to be... Look, Angmar Shamans do not look great at first glance, but when you have 3 channeled withers coming into your big hero on that first turn, and you are maxing out at 3 will with most lists, all of a sudden, if you don't roll that 6 and you're out of will, and all of a sudden you're down to strength 3 or strength 2 already, then he still has 12 will. No, wait, he would have 6 will to cast more withers. Your strength 4 Boromir, gone. Elrond, gone. Everything gone.
Oh wow, that is interesting. That's very interesting. You're actually doing channeled withers.
Yep.
So your shaman has 1 point of might and heroic channel. So first turn you call the channeled, and then you wither whatever the hero is. You drain their might, get it down to strength 2 or strength 3. Then you just start pumping it with 6 more withers that are casting on a 4+. They might be out of will at that point, so they can do some really funky things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Birder drops down turn 3 with 2 hill trolls on any piece of terrain, and it's funky. And hill trolls are good, man. Like, they're still fight 6 monsters that can hurl and barge and do all the fun stuff that monsters do this edition. So it's a list that I would not take seriously at your own peril.
You sold me on this list. 3 withers, 3 heroic channel. You said
the first
heroic
thing
channeling.
I saw, I was like,
I played against it.
I didn't even notice.
This list. Yeah, it's nasty. I played against it last weekend at 750 points. You brought 4 shamans. Luckily, I had 4 knots. I had some resist dice to add to it, but you still got Orphanel down to strength 3 and Aorner down to 2, and
oh god,
it can delete a model if you're not careful.
Alistair, were you going to say something?
So, I'm having a different conversation.
Oh, okay.
What is Caleb doing, dude? He's just bouncing around.
That guy's painting, bro.
This is like every stream
he's painting, bro. He's trying not to lose the ties.
Can't lose it. All right, let's move on to Caleb's Men of the West. Caleb, do you want to talk about your own list?
No, I can talk about it.
Yeah, please, Caleb. I would love to hear why you're taking this list.
No.
Well, looks like Alistair lagged out.
What's he doing? Is he talking right now?
No, I don't. I think he went to a spot where there's no Wi-Fi because he's walking around.
Yeah. All right, I'll talk about this list. I ran this list at 700 points. Same build, just less models. It's a super versatile list. Aragorn, we've talked about 1 trillion times already.
Yep.
It is the closest thing, if not better, than old Elendil mounted from last edition, where you just bounce around killing shit left and right. Very, very good. You have a bunch of tin cans with shield wall at fight 4, conditionally fight 5 per turn. Very good. Legolas, best offensive weapon in the game. Very good. And look, man, a fight 5 captain with 2 attacks is very good. So it's just a solid list with a lot of models. He did the right thing, not bringing a lot of bows either. And the sneaky little thing about this list are 8 throwing weapons, or spears that you just absolutely hammer people with as you're marching around the board. So it's a good list for sure.
Got some range on him.
Yeah. Elven Cloak on Legolas is good, so you can park him behind a tree and not get shot by Dale, whatever degenerates bring in that list. So
by
you can do some
Dale.
secret and stuff. Yeah.
Could it be Dale?
So
all
it's a
right.
good list.
Yep.
Did we see any Dale list?
We have not. We're not
I
going
think
to
we're
'cause
unfortunately going to
consider-
see one.
We will. This is Sherry's. We already talked about this a little bit with Sauron, a troll, the Witch King, and a ring wraith.
I don't think I've ever been more happy for someone to drop off a call than Caleb and Alistair combined.
There
by
we
the way.
go.
I'm just
combined.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
separately they might have been able to stay, but combined they're out of here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a 2 for
Hero
1.
Hammer, man. This I think
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely.
Here's the thing, like it can really just mess with you trying to figure out how to deal with a million different things from 4 models or whatever it is. As weird as it might be as the player of Badger to position stuff, I would never run it. It's just not my style. But
Yeah.
you're still dealing with a lot all the time.
For sure. And the whole like, oh, there's so few models, you're gonna get broken easily. It's like, well, yeah, you don't get broken if Sauron doesn't take wounds. So, and with all these, all
wait,
this
you're
magic,
done with his list already?
we did.
Yeah,
we
we
finished it. We wanted to.
It wasn't impressive.
It
It was not
Caleb,
impressive.
Caleb,
have
why are
talked
you
about
sitting
a
in the
lot.
back
Average.
seat? Why are you making Alistair act like driving Miss Daisy? Sit in the front like a normal person, dude.
I'm driving. What are you talking about?
I thought Caleb was in the back seat.
I also
Caleb-
thought
I
so.
thought that was I thought that was
The rear
head
view
seat.
mirror, yeah, we
Oh,
thought that was the headrest. Like
I thought it was the
Caleb's back
headrest, you're
there.
just slipping behind it.
Alistair, take me to Richmond.
The problem is Caleb would be the kind of person to request you to drive him somewhere.
Well, now, hold on. Yeah, okay. Keep it like this.
Yeah,
I
Caleb,
wanna-
Caleb tried joining, but it was the echo was really bad.
Yeah, that was a terrible choice.
Sherry's my pick to win the event, by the way.
It looks sick. Like that's what I'm saying. You know, it looks
The
like a
sneaky
really
thing
cool
is how do
list.
like it's tough to break this list because you have to wound Sauron to incite the break, and there's not a lot of orcs to kill to get to quartered either. So it's a very tough list to crack
Mhm.
in this scenario. So
Oh yeah, sure. I'm gonna leave this call.
Are you just running Sauron and you're just having trying to angle the Witch King to take out their general with more gold
Well,
blades?
here's what you
That's the goal
do.
with this list.
Also, I mean, the Witch King has enchanted blades now, which is pretty good. You can cast it onto the troll. You can cast it on Sauron. You don't have. He doesn't have to cast it on himself. So it's a really nice thing. Like Sauron going up against the Balrog is sure going to enjoy re-rolling wounds.
sure, yeah.
All right, so that was Sherry's list. We liked it. Chris B. This is the one I think where Tomas got messed up. Bilbo got hitters in them their hills.
Yeah. Who does that? Who does that?
I don't know whose this is. Chris B.
We're branding Chris from the next event, bro. If he does
I
that,
don't know this Chris. There's too many Chris's,
Chris-
man.
I know there's way too many Chris's in this in the
In life,
Middle Earth
in
strategy
this
battle game
world.
community. We're gonna have to start getting rid of some, dude. We're gonna have to bring it to a vote, and then the lowest rated Chris is gonna have to leave and never play again.
He'll smash his models on his way out. Make sure he never comes back.
Yeah, this is.
I haven't
this
gone
is-
up against
this
the
is the one that
chariot.
there's
This is
two
the
of, by the way, right? The Chris Blenderman has he's sharing a list with someone else, basically.
Oh, is that what it was? Because it also said Bilbo got hitters in them, their hills, the Iron Hills, and I was like, why did they send me two? So I didn't input one, you know.
You're gonna go up to Morris, and then you're gonna vaguely go right down Morris.
Oh my
down west.
goodness.
Yeah.
Well, whoever
Mute
wants-
yourself, Caleb, if you're not talking
Good
about
Lord.
this.
Well, I'm here. I was given directions. I mean, this is contextually clear.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
So,
Caleb,
I have
what are your
not
thoughts
played
on the
against-
Iron Hills Chariot?
What do we think about the Iron Hills Chariot?
Iron Hills Chariot is great and fun and awesome and a good interactive model for everyone. And it's a skill-based one. It's a skill-based model, which is my favorite part of it.
Mhm.
You roll or you don't. I don't know. I think it's
Roll
I
the
think it's
sixes.
actually somewhat. I think it's somewhat unfun. I don't think chariots are ever that fun to play against.
Well, it's thematic historically because I don't think people ever had fun battling against chariots in real life too. So
So it's got to be.
I think for
I don't know if
historical
we'll have
accuracy, it's
at any point in battle.
it works.
Got it. I will say on this list, there's no range threat at all.
Yeah. The
The
chariot doesn't have like a bow attached to it, like a crossbow attached to it.
Doesn't it have like a machine gun or something?
Yeah, I think that's what it. Let me double check. I'm pulling up Tabletop Admiral,
maybe
our
said bows
sponsor.
or count as not our sponsor.
I can't say I've ever looked at the Iron Hills chariot profile. Sorry.
Let me. I'm trying to pull it up, dude.
It does have
where's
a
the Iron
machine gun, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
If I was a dwarf, I would put a machine gun on my chariot.
What is this?
That's the most lore accurate thing you can do as a dwarf.
And we're all about lore. Did you find it?
I'm trying to pull it up. Iron Hills Captain.
No, chariot.
The chariot.
And then it's on the Iron. Oh my God! They didn't put it in Tabletop Admiral, dude.
Yeah.
The Admiral of Tabletop Admiral is slacking, so I don't know what it does.
I know it has
This will
like
lead to
impact
some
hits and stuff, you know, standard chariot stuff, but
it's
I don't know about
fun
the
to play
machine
against, fun to play with, you know, all the good things.
all the good things. We're ready to see it. I'm sure it's going to be painted.
It's run by goats, you know. Instead of horses, boring. Goats. That's the way to go.
Goaters. Yep.
Some might even say
Chris.
the Iron Hill Chariot is goated.
At the next light, turn right.
That is the best clip.
We are
I'm
not going
clipping
to do,
that.
Caleb, we're not going to do the ways in the
I'm
background
clipping
today,
that.
man.
That's
We're just not gonna
amazing.
do it.
I would say the Iron Hills Chariot is goated. Turn right at whatever. Like, oh, dude, it's great. All right, so this is Chris W. This is his muster of Isengard force, and since there are so many men, I think this is going to do pretty well at this one.
So I think he probably should have ran more berserkers, but
He has 6.
it's still a solid list. I would get up to 10
10?
berserkers if you
Oh,
could,
okay.
and just pump some pikes into it. I wouldn't even bother with crossbows in this list, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I actually,
You get the free march too, so yeah,
Miles.
I maybe
47 south.
maybe like 3 crossbows, but not this many.
yeah, if
How
you
many
want
crossbows does he have?
He has 6. They're 2
Two assault.
points each.
I think you max out crossbows and max out berserkers. Don't even go pike block.
No pikes.
Why?
at all.
Pikes are for
Why would you
cowards.
do that? Why would you max out crossbows and berserkers instead of going pikes
Oh,
and berserkers?
because you can't.
Shoot into your own combats, dude.
It's an option. If it wasn't an option on this list, you know.
If you want a crossbow spam, run assault on Helm's Deep, and if you want to run assault on Helm's Deep, don't go to tournaments. I think with this
There
list,
you go.
you get berserkers and pikes behind it. You have 2 attacks with 2 dice behind it.
Dude,
and a third
okay.
banner.
Now the real question is, Sauron with or without horse?
You always never take a horse with Saruman. The 20 points is 2 more models in this list.
And like we
and
were
you
saying
just lose
earlier,
20 points.
the 18-inch range makes it to where you literally don't need to be close at all.
Does he get Cribane? Do you have access to Cribane in this one?
No, that's only an army of the White Hand.
No.
Okay.
And he doesn't get his like vision thing with Kerbane either, which is really
Yeah.
strong.
So I think this will be fine. I'm not necessarily sure how well it'll do overall. I would lose the horse, go more berserkers, but you know, it's still a lot of strength for her. And Grima is a sneaky little annoyance, so we'll see.
Yeah, Grima can cause that that might batter you were talking about with Aragorn to not work as well.
The annoying thing though is these captains have strikes. Like if you just park Grima behind like a fight 6 hero, fight 7 hero, all of a sudden you got this strength 5 captain with 2 pikes behind it, and
And oh no,
striking up on
you got transfixed by Saruman, so it's a free
Exactly.
strike. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. I can see how it'd be really good. I think we covered it. That's Chris W, and that's Muster of Isengard. Next we have Chris Y with the Halls of Thranduil. This is Tauriel,
Too many
Legolas,
bows.
and Thranduil. 11
too many bows. I'd bring more glaives. You got to go full glaives in this.
Ooh,
He doesn't
a
need
lot
so
of glaives.
no bow on Toriel is interesting.
14 glaives.
I'm not necessarily sure I like that.
Yeah, let's do a heroic mute. I like that, Ted. We're gonna do a huge heroic mute. Is it this? No, it's this. There we go. I was about to mute him from everything.
So 40 models, 40 elves at 735 points is a lot of elves, and this is a lot of damage. You got that cheeky little Fight 6 mini bubble with the Palace Guard. Halls is good, man. It's violent.
Yeah.
Does a lot of damage.
It's violent. It is definitely violent.
And the thing too,
Halls,
go ahead.
Halls is good.
Good. But yeah, both the glaives too are pretty nasty because like the Thranduil banner bubble is only 3 inches, but if you think about it, you put a glaive or 2 glaives on someone, they get 2 dice in a dual roll, and you effectively have a natural banner with them. So like you're not missing out necessarily on the extra dice that you would. So
all the benefits of shielding and none of the downsides. It's great. Glaives are great.
Yeah, like a better earlass.
Mm-hmm. Better earlass. You hear that, Tomas? Let's continue.
Yes, bro. You don't have to say that again. Yes. I know. I know, and Minister sucks.
Let's go on to
it's not
Cole.
as good as it
this
should
one
be,
is
dude.
was strangely saved for me, so it just looks like this. Rise of the Necromancer, Nazgul of Dol Guldur, the Lingering Shadow. His leader is Sauron the Necromancer. He has 12 spiders. 12 spiders, 2 giant, 10 hunting, a smattering of hunter orcs, and some warg riders and fell wargs. 30 models, very interesting Mirkwoody list.
This is a glass cannon of all glass cannons of lists, but
oh yeah, defense 4 is
spiders.
High for it. Yeah, 10 spiders.
There's the thing; they have 2 wounds, so like your wound count isn't bad, and the spiders cause terror, which is good. And the other annoying thing about them is like their bases are big, so you can block stuff off just by them moving around. I don't remember off the top of my head which one spits that.
It's the giant spiders, the one that spits the
paralyze. I don't think terror is that big of a problem in this edition because I feel a lot of lists give you fearless or you auto pass courage checks.
That's fair.
And or a good amount of them are what's it called? Are elite armies, so they already have high courage. You know, so elves I think Terror got like elves and dwarves. I think a Terror got gutted in this edition because of all the auto passes on courage checks.
You can be sneaky with 100 spiders if they have stop fencing.
There are also some evil armies that don't get those bonuses that would suffer from this. Like just looking at it, Army of Gothmog, for example, would hate fighting this list.
No, yeah, but Army of Gothmog is not good, so
that's what you mean. Okay.
So it doesn't all, you know.
Oh my god.
You know, I guess if it was a meta of Army of Gothmog, then yeah, you know, that this is an amazing list. You know, Terror's really good because their courage sucks. But
they have no,
you know, we only see one Army of Gothmog.
Okay, but what about Blackgate Opens?
Blackgate Opens. I don't think that list is that good either.
Because you had Waze on in the background, man.
That's why. I mean, our chat was asking for that to happen. Sorry. People couldn't hear. Let me know when you're I guess text me when you're ready to come back on, Caleb. Anyways, back to this. So yeah, I think there's places for terror still in this edition. It's not as like all consuming as last edition.
Yeah, before the Morannon frontline, I mean not Morannon frontline,
in Numenor,
the Morannon backline with the Terror frontline. Yeah, that was like annoying, and you had to bring it. But they're like, hey, Terror's not even that big of a problem because everyone auto passes courage checks.
Yeah,
now
there's a lot of them that do. All right, well, that is Rise of the Necromancer. I think the magic there is going to help a lot too. It'll be an interesting list. I'm curious to see how it does with the spiders. Next, we have hentai. That's what I saved it as. Because I didn't name it this. When I found this list on Tabletop Admiral, it was called Bilbo's Hentai Bash. I'm not gonna say whose it is, but that's it. We're just gonna leave it there. And so for this
we got
list,
a big tentacle fan. We got a big tentacle fan going down to Fredericksburg tomorrow.
Yeah. A local.
I don't know, man.
Will.
Like the Balrog, we've talked about the Balrog ad nauseum today.
Yeah,
the Watcher is
someone we haven't
I haven't
talked
played
about.
against the Watcher yet.
He's new in his new way. Like he's super supportive of the Balrog. You trap the Balrog, he can untrap the Balrog. That happened to me a few times when I played against him. Just being able to control things and like move troops behind him is really strong. He still has all that other same stuff where he can like appear, drag people to the water features, but that never really happens. I did hear about it happening once, but he sells resistance to magic, 6 attacks, all that. He just doesn't have a bat swarm in this list to like really do the Watcher thing.
Yeah, you can't like pull a model into a bat swarm, get the half fight die, you can just delete Gilgalad.
You can't
in like
do
a
that.
turn.
Yeah. But you can untrap the Balrog, put him in better positions, let him get a heroic combat where it was previously blocked. Like it's really good. It's a really
and
good
D6 shots that don't require in the ways or whatever it is, and just pop in enemy models at strength 6 or whatever it is very, very good. You can just delete a banner if you want to.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's I think it's I want to say 8.
It's a anti-fun, you know.
Anti-fun.
Here at Curve Strategy Battle Game, we hate fun. If you're not playing Magic, monsters,
2 monsters here, buddy, and resistance
or
to magic
hero hammer with magic or monsters or resistance to magic, you're not having fun in this game.
Oh, and the board wide banner, make sure the Watcher basically never fails.
Board wide banner. You always have to have your board wide banner.
Yeah. I mean, he rolls 7
everyone else
dice.
can only have a 6-inch banner, just an FYI. But the Balrog gets a board wide banner.
What? No, there's plenty of armies that don't have banners at all.
No, I know, but the next biggest banner is a 6-inch banner.
Yeah.
I think Imrahil used to have like a bigger banner, and they
12,
nerfed it to 6 inches. So you know,
you got to make sure the drums in the deep.
You gotta keep non-Balrog players in their place.
Yeah, and so that is the Depths of Moria with the Watcher.
Hentai. It's the hentai list. Victor, call it what it is.
Yeah.
And then we have Hunter playing Army of Gothmog, which is Gothmog Guritz and Gothmog's Enforcer, all Morannons with a drummer troll and 2 banners. I mean, that's
he's doing the Lord's work with this list.
Pretty much all
he's doing the Lord's work.
I don't know.
This
maybe
is an honest man's list.
Should have taken some more spears or something. I don't know, because he does have a few points on the table. But other than that, I mean, this is how I would build it if I was playing it.
I think he should have dropped Gothmog, Guritz, and Gothmog's Enforcer, and then just played Depths of Moria. I think that would have been a better
that
list.
level of analysis where Tomas is just like,
or take 735 points worth of Mordor catapults and just call it a day.
Oh, there we go, and just rain down some severed heads. Hope they all run. Actually,
if you heard me say that, do not listen to that. Please do not do that.
Yeah, no one do that. Well, we can't
Please
change.
don't.
It's too late now anyway. So that's Hunter. I think he'll do as good as Gothmog can do. I'm hoping for him. I want to see how he does.
He'll go as far as his dice carry him and his opponent's dice don't carry them.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Remember, there's Plan B. A tire iron to the shin.
Oh, the tire iron. Yeah, of course.
If your opponent can't roll dice, then they can't the game.
True.
Then we have James B. Battle of Fornost. This is the one with Kierden.
Yeah,
I think this is there.
It's a little light on models. I feel.
I think
he's got 6.
So
knights.
I think 30 models with these 3 heroes probably is fine.
And 6 knights. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, 6 knights is good.
He has 6 knights. Oh yeah, he's losing a couple 2 models, couple models from 6 knights.
I mean, he has 10 spears, good sized front line, so he has a pretty equal spear to bow / front line there. I think it's fine. You're not necessarily slow because Glorfindel has 12-inch move, can run through whatever forest he wants. 6 knights has a lot of mobility to it. and you got a damage multiplier and Kierdan there, so he's never going to be out of a fight by any stretch. It's just, I don't know. I think this is as rock solid of a death ball type list as you can get. You got to protect that banner. That's the thing. One banner, you got to make sure that it's got a spear on it at all times and protecting it from some funky Legolas shit popping up. But it's got a lot of damage potential for sure.
Were you gonna say something, Tomas?
No, because the scenarios, there's only 2 VP point banner scenarios, and adding 4 how many scenarios are adding? They're adding 4 scenarios that don't give you banner VPs. So in this meta, the banner VPs don't matter as much. If we're playing like this,
but you just need the banner to win the fights is more of it, rather than you really need
the concern isn't the VPs for the banner, it's the fact that you have 7 models, if not 8 with Glorfindel, that are going to be probably flanking, and you don't have a banner to move to support them if you're going to have it by the battle line, and then if it dies randomly, that's the thing. Like the VP thing doesn't really matter there. It's just like the way you want to use knights in this list is moving around shit, and you're not going to get rerolls there. And the thing with them is like the fight 5 on the charge, you're probably going to get 1, maybe 2 turns of it, and you need to maximize it, and you need rerolls for that. So that would be my concern.
I think you just don't roll anything lower than a 6, and you're always going to be good. You don't need the banner.
Oh yeah, Lord of Sixes. There we go.
Just break out the Rivendell dice, man. That's all you need.
Rivendell dice, of course. All cooked.
Oh,
Here's James O, host of the Witch King, which this is remarkably similar to what I was thinking about bringing, and then I didn't because I'm not a monster.
Yeah, this is the Lord's work, dude. This is what Jay wanted us to play.
When
he made it.
I've played James at 4 tournaments this edition. He's always run Fangorn. This is the biggest far cry from what he's run in the past. And knowing my luck, if I was going to this, I would run into this round 2 and just get paralyzed off the board. This list has ass, and I would warn you to not take it seriously. To paralyze is still the best spell in the game.
Oh, absolutely. 3+ now too.
Yeah, and the 3+. I like how they're like, oh, magic is too overpowered. We have to nerf it. But then they keep transfix at what, like a, was it a 2+ before or something? Am I forgetting something?
No, you're thinking of Drain.
So it was still a 3+. So it's like, it's still
kind of
it's still a high chance of it going off. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think even the Balrog players would be scared of this list.
100%, dude.
Yeah. Scrub numbers. We need 7 Barrow Whites. That's what we really need.
Yeah. It's 52 models too, man. It's a lot of models.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of models, and your orcs are causing terror because your Barrow Whites are spirits.
That's true. The only thing that I'll say, which is, I haven't said this yet. I'm surprised by it, but there should be far more 2-handers in this list. You paralyze something, your 2-handed orcs are actually looking mean.
I was gonna say there are no bows, so that's good. But
no bows.
Yeah.
How many banners? The orc bows are so bad. I don't think you ever take an orc bow. Maybe if you plan on,
I took an
maybe if you just plan on
sending
your bows to grab objectives.
That's what I did. Yeah. I mean, they still have weapons.
But then but the bow gives you the reach. If you're off to grab an objective, that's why you bring the bow.
Well, I just ran out of 2-handed models. So, anyways, Jeremy here is running. This is Return of the King. Oh, this is very, very similar to the other list, except it has riders. That's the only difference. So, what did you say about riders, Sam? You said they're not worth taking, you don't think?
So, I think that when you already have a base 8-inch move on your infantry, I think it kind of neuters the need for riders. And like the other thing too is they're probably not going to be close enough to Ellis or to Aragorn to get that fight forward bump. So I just don't necessarily see the need for them. They're not bad by any stretch. Like they still can move over everything. I think they're 12-inch move. I don't know if they are or not. I don't remember off the top of my head. But like they're super mobile.
I think they are 12-inch move.
End of the day too, you're only going to get 1 more or 2 more Warriors of the Dead for it. So it's not like a list defining decision.
Right, but I think that's and I hate to make it a broader conversation, but I mean, I think that's kind of this 1.0 edition that we're going through is like, there's not too many ways to do these lists right now.
Yeah.
But
I don't think with these new additions, there's going to be too many ways to do the list.
Here we go. I got Tomas on it. That's what I literally
okay, we're playing the alpha right now. We've done all the play testing for 6 months
for free.
They're not going to make any changes when the new, when the actual game comes out. What, next week on Saturday? When the actual game comes out next week, after we've done all this alpha testing, they're not going to change anything. So, I don't even know where I was heading with this, but
so let's move on. Here's Joel.
But it's still going to suck. If it sucks now, it's still going to suck later. Yeah.
I can't stop this guy.
It's not getting any better with adding more shitty models, you know.
Hurin is back in the game.
Some lists are. Some lists are, but more shitty models isn't going to make your shitty list any less shitty.
You're not excited about Ingold?
No, because they didn't do anything to him.
He's fight 5. He's not fight 4 anymore. He can tie elves and lose on a roll off, but like he's not getting beaten by elves automatically nowadays.
Then they kept his ability. They changed shield wall and they kept his ability the same. You would think that because they changed shield wall, they would give him a different ability, but no, they gave him the exact same ability he had before that was supposed to, make shield wall easier to get.
It's still good making your opponent back up. You can kind of dictate positioning on the board a little bit easier, I think. I don't think it's that bad.
That is true.
It's a little bit over.
There is one time where Ingold kept me off an objective and just kept pushing me back to where I just couldn't get to it. It was against Caleb, actually, that happened. But anyway.
Did you beat Caleb?
That game? I don't think so. No, I did
Probably.
not. I did not.
Yeah.
Because it was a Maelstrom game and I was playing Angmar and he had, the fiefdom ranger with all his guys and he just shot a bunch of my orcs off. But anyways, that's off task. Here is Joel's list. This is just Last Alliance, not the Last Alliance. And this is the one with Billy.
I fucking love this shit, dude. The High Kings were my list for all of last edition. I will always lose my shit for an Elendil Gil-galad pair. 35 models is really, really good at 735 points.
It's a lot, yeah.
One banner's fine. You have Lord of the West on Gil-galad. You have a Fight 6 bubble with the Kingsguard. Whirl of Blades is very good. D5, you're going to struggle in a certain shooting list, but you have the 10 bows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's Lothlorien, so you're not dealing with Blinding Light.
Nope.
Or anything like that. Your issue is mobility.
Yeah, no horses.
But I think Assassination is 24-inch deployment. Capture and Control, if you don't deploy in that front 12-inch bubble, you're probably going to lose the game anyways. Command the Battlefield's Maelstrom, and then I forget, Lords of Battle's 24. So I think this is a very, very strong list. It goes into every list from a combat perspective incredibly well.
Yeah.
Elendil, even though he doesn't have his horse, which rest in peace, he's still a Fight 8 free hero combat strength 5 +1 to wound model.
Wound, yep.
Yeah,
huge.
This is I'm going to kill you before the game ends list, and then I'm just going to hope that I've quartered you before you're on the objectives type thing. But I think, this is a strong list for sure. I love this
I like
shit.
this one a lot too.
They actually buffed the Last Alliance by Gil-galad and Elendil not being able to take horses. You can't get shot off your horse by Legolas if you don't bring a horse.
True. Yeah.
That's the buff. That's the secret buff.
That's the buff, dude.
There would be nothing more tilting.
Horses actually got worse this edition because Legolas can shoot you off your horse.
And
they double the points.
Double the points.
So I like this list. This is
rock.
I
think it's
another
really
issue
cool.
is the might is an issue, but you kind of mitigate it from the free hero combats with the window and the fact that Gil-galad doesn't really need a strike, so you have might to tempo shit out for heroic moves. And Gil-galad has General Hunter. I don't know if he does, but you just challenge and kill models anyway.
He should
good
have
list for
something
sure.
like that. I mean, Blood and Glory got changed to it.
What does General Hunter do? It gives you mine if you kill a general.
Yeah.
If you kill the general,
you also have strength 4 on the back line. So
yeah, strength 4 in the back.
You can two-hand if you're
6.
like me in the front. You got Fight 6 on six of your warriors, so that's really strong.
Yeah. I absolutely. This has my stamp of ass approval on it so far. This is my favorite list that we've seen.
Nice. Okay, well there you go, Joel. Next one we have John.
Joel's gonna win it all, dude.
Reclamation.
Joel's gonna win it all.
Mr. Schlosser. This is classic Battleline SPG. Just as rock solid as it gets. He probably has too many Rangers.
That's
I think.
A lot of Rangers.
I've told him that before, but 38 models is good.
I don't think you ever take Madrill.
Oh, you hate
I don't think
Madrill.
you ever take Madrill because I think the captain is better than Madrill because Madrill is like very weak.
No, so he's weak in combat, but you don't put him in combat. You use him to get on the board in Maelstrom, and he's also 3 points of might that you can use to tempo moves out. So Boromir and Vaughn can spend their might on combats, which is what it is.
But I don't know. I think Madrill's bad because he's weak, and I don't think the Maelstrom.
He's weak.
When you play in Maelstrom, the Maelstrom effect is good, but I don't think I guess I don't think Maelstrom to be like, oh, I need to take him so I have a really high chance of winning Maelstrom. You have 6 might on Boromir and you have 3 might on Faramir. If you roll bad, you can use your might. Like theoretically, you shouldn't roll too bad, so you can use your might to reposition.
Imagine if Guritz had a bow. I would take him every time.
Yeah, I like Madrill a lot. He's versatile, and it's not just for Maelstrom; it's for recon too. If you need to get on the board or something like that, and just having an extra point of might compared to the captain is good. I like the captain. Don't get me wrong. Captain of Minister for 60 points is one of the most valuable models, like at a lower tier level, if you will. But Madrill is pretty versatile with what he can do.
No March is the one thing that you're probably arguing for, Tomas?
I think Madrill has March.
No, Madrill has
March.
Madrill
has March. It's just the captain is a stronger because he has D7.
He's stronger in melee.
And he's 5'5". Captain's also 5'5". Madrill's 5'4". He in Shield Wall he'll have D8. He has 1 less might, but his stats are better.
Gotcha.
The thing I love the most about this list is how symmetrical it is. It's 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. It is absolutely beautiful. There's no odd numbers in it. No even numbers in it. It looks incredible.
It looks great. Good luck, John.
Contender for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's continue to Josh G with Army of the White Hand. So Saruman, Grima, Oathmaker, and Scout Captain.
Josh went from playing the Balrog to playing Army of the White Hand.
Was this Rainbow Balrog?
He was a Balrog guy. Yes. Now he's Army of the White Hand guy.
Going from one.
Look, it's a great list, man. It's a very strong. It's a super strong list.
Yeah.
You got any more of those meta lists?
So the lightning thing, I think people freak out about the damage it can do, and like if you are bad at deployment, it will do damage. Where it really messes with you is when you try to avoid the damage, and all of a sudden you're splitting your entire battle line up into little clumps. And then you try to reorganize, and then you're already like a turn or two behind. And then you've got 45 models running at you. And then you can't move the next turn because he calls the winds and you're moving half. It gets you out of position. It keeps you out of position. Saruman just starts transfixing your big hero at -1. Then you can't call moves because Grima's just chilling in the back. There are a lot of decisions to make with this list.
Do you just suck it up then and eat the lightning? Or do you...
I hate saying it depends, but army composition maybe. Like you don't want. Here's the thing: you don't want your battle line there, and all of a sudden he drops this 2-inch diameter lightning on you on 8 models, and then it crushes, a fourth or a fifth of your list in one turn. You know what it might be.
How are you countering this? How are you clumping up your guys? Are you clumping them up in piles of 4, so you can only get 4 at a time?
So what I did. I played against this at Richmond at 800 points in Maelstrom, so it's a little bit different. But I effectively came on in 3 model diamonds or triangles, if you will, just to avoid it. And I was I had 2 banners in the list. So as a Fat3, you can pick a banner, just take one, but I wasn't going to let my opponent just wipe out, 6 elves or whatever on a good roll. I don't think you eat it. I think you make the player make a decision on where it needs to go and just give him a lot of pretty okay decisions as opposed to one very easy one, and go from there. But it just starts it off. The Cribane are awesome models. They can't get trapped. You can't shoot them. Just they can clog things up. It's how many 10 bows?
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Arguably.
The 10 bows.
I would bring more bows, honestly. If I were him, I would max out bows
Really?
as much as possible. Uruk-hai bows are awesome at strength
Yeah,
3.
strength 3 is big.
You're already low defense, so the D4, D5 argument I don't really think matters as much. I think you just the strength 4 bows or strength 3 bows are very, very good.
Bro, Sam, I'm just gonna send you a friend request and just start sending you lists just to get your opinion. Because
Sorry,
you know,
I'm rambling today.
That's high praise from the expert.
Everything you've said, I've agreed with it. And it's just
I remember you saying this to Caleb.
Yeah, I don't like Caleb. That's why. I'm just kidding. I like Caleb. That's a joke. This is a good list. Josh is a good player.
Strong,
I played him before. This is definitely a contender list for sure, both on strength of player and strength of list.
Oh yeah, strength of list is big. Also, the 2 Warg Riders are sneaky.
Yeah,
a little cheeky. All right, let's go on to the next one. We got Josh P bringing Erebor.
Well, then do you get rid of the Warg Riders and just go one more Crebain, or do you get the 2 Warg Riders? Because I think Crebain is 20 and a Warg Rider is 11.
I think 4 Crebain is not a bad decision.
Yeah, you could do that. You definitely could. You could even.
There's just a lot you can do with them.
Yep. So Erebor Reclaimed is Thorin Oakenshield, Bofur, which I am so curious on how things will rule that way, on the Troll Brute with Oin the Dwarf as well. We basically have some crossbows here and there, 1 banner, and the big boy, the Troll Brute. That's really what this list is going for. Which I haven't really seen this edition, so I don't have too much to say. I do know last edition, I've been trampled by him a couple times. It's not been fun. But sometimes he doesn't go off, and it's just a waste of points. I don't know how he is, though, this edition.
I played against it last weekend. Similar list, same player.
Mm-hmm.
The Troll Brute is it's like an attention carnifex where you have to pay attention to it. Like if you give them a lane to trample shit, it's gonna wipe out whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just I don't think dwarves are great, but like you have to pay attention to the troll for sure. Owen is whatever. It just he doesn't really do anything. It just kind of stays alive for a little bit longer. But it's the brute's the center priest, obviously, and it's just making sure you're not putting yourself in a situation where it can run rampant over you.
Doing that and then using your free heroics, right, with Thorin.
Yeah, for sure. Fight 7, Orcris is a hand and a half Elven made weapon, so he's winning tiebreakers.
Oh yeah.
Most Fight 7 models are elves at this point, anyways, or have Elven made, so it doesn't really matter as much. But he's not losing the roll off now, and Fight 7's very, very good. And
I mean, hey, he could strike up to Balrog fight with the elven weapon, even. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
or the
good.
troll just runs into it.
Yeah, you're always just running Thorin into the Balrog.
Yeah.
You're just straight firing him, bro.
Just running.
You're always just charging Mender. Honestly, are you even playing if you're not just charging into the Balrog every chance you get?
Oh my gosh. No, you're not.
It's a coward's way out not to do it.
I thought your way was to not get paired up with the Balrog list.
Yeah, like the real strategy is to never get paired up against the Balrog.
That's not cowardly.
But when you're playing against the Balrog, you have to.
Oh, okay.
You have to just charge. They're gonna win either way. You might as well just.
Oh my god.
Have some fun with it.
See, I think Thorin striking up, tying that, and then winning on 3 through 6 is not bad. If you have some Maddox in there to 2-hand, you can get a substantial amount of wounds on that guy.
You're honestly just having the Troll Brute trample him, bro.
I think he would kill the Troll Brute by setting him on fire.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking, bro.
Oh.
I don't even know what the Troll Brute does exactly.
Oh, well, he's a war beast.
But I imagine it's fun trampling people with him.
Yeah, he's a war beast. Here's Kyle. This is Rivendell. This is the one with Lindir, so he has the 6-inch resist magic and the free will for Elrond. So it's pretty nice to have.
Yeah,
he can't be mounted this edition. He can't have armor this edition. So he is extremely squishy. D4 with 1 fate. 1 or 2 Fate. I don't remember.
Let me see. I'm pulling them up right now.
But this list has they got as many bows as they could. It's basically elves, 1 banner, elves, Elrond and his daughter. They're just going to be trying to do some wraths around, splash about.
This is a rock solid list.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to struggle against multiple bigger heroes because you really only have Elrond as your hit.
Well,
yeah,
dude, you're honestly with this list, especially with Linder and Renew, you're just throwing your Elrond into their big hitter.
That's right.
And then just
Renew. I did.
Yeah,
this to
so
you
you're just throwing Elrond into their big hitter and just gumming up their big hitter because he has 3 fate. He's gonna re-roll the fate, and then you have Renew. You're also getting a free dice for Wrath of. For Wrath.
Mm-hmm. Or Renew.
So
he can also cast Renew. He can cast it on himself too. So.
Can he cast it on himself? Yeah. So Elrond is just gonna gunk up whatever hero he charges into.
I've done that to you a few
just
times.
a lot of Wraths of Brunnen coming out. It's gonna be a very wet list for sure.
Very wet. And then the big blast.
Yeah,
if you get broken.
They invoke the Brunnen.
And like you said before about Terror, this list has the +1 to courage. So like literally Elrond passes if there's no Harbinger. He just passes every courage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's solid as well. It's something I would actually take if I was thinking about running Rivendell for this very list or for this very tournament. So good job, Kyle. I like that one a lot. This is Leland,
we need more lists like
Black
this, bro.
Gate.
Not Balrog.
Not Balrog. Get the Balrog.
Not Balrog. What's another annoying list that people play?
Eagles.
Just Balrog because they banned the Eagles.
Yeah.
Like 3 Barrow Right, Host of the Witch King.
Oh, only that though. You can play the other.
Minas Morgul, dude. That with 3 casters.
No one does that. I'm the only one that does that, which we'll get to later. Anyways.
Yeah, if you don't win, Victor, I don't know what you're doing then.
I did beat you pretty bad, but it's not not
the
easy.
psychic damage that was caused is not making me want to play until next edition.
In a week. Anyways, here's Leland's Black Gate with the beefy chiefy, the Taskmaster, and the Mouth of Sauron, and a Mordor troll drummer again. So that's interesting. We have 3. Is that 3 or 4 troll drummers now?
Is the Mordor troll drummer the only drummer option you have, or can you take a regular?
I think it is.
I don't know if Moranans can take a drum. I know Mordor can take a drum. I don't know if Moranans can, and this is Moranan locked.
Yeah, you can't.
I like it though, man. If you're gonna take a drum, take it and just I don't think you necessarily want to super reposition this list. You just want to get in and start killing shit left and right. So I don't think the idea of the troll being engaged once that does engage is a big issue.
Yeah, it's not as big of an issue. Once you get them both in your big trolls, you'll be good. But yeah, and then the outnumbering 2, which now counts like if a troll's there with a Moranan, that Moranan's going to get +1 to wound. So that's nice. 4 + 1 is always strong.
This can hit for sure.
Mouth of Sauron going to chill out in the back, throw some spells out, give his aura, and the Taskmaster's going to give free shit the whole time. So this could be really good. It's going to depend on Taskmaster rolls and some positioning things. The only thing I would be worried about for it would be magic. Like that Host of the Witch King would tear this up, sadly. But yeah, otherwise solid list. Mm-hmm. We have Matt running the Black Gate. Wow. Wow, this is like the same exact list. Okay. Wait, is it actually? It is the
No, I think it's
not exactly.
It looks like. Yeah.
It's just very slightly different. So, Matt, same to you.
This is the government issued Black Gate list.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Army of Edoras with Nick B.
Ooh.
This is Helm we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. This is the list you bring to have fun and not win. Because if you're bringing Rohan, you plan on not winning.
Look, man, Rohan is the king of a lot of options that just aren't all very
Yeah, a
good.
lot of mediocre options.
Helm is fun.
Haleth is strong
is a
too.
hitter for
Yeah.
sure. Hama, I think, has sharpshooter. I think he can pick what he
Yeah,
hits.
I think he
but that's good
does.
for him,
He's
I
the one with the
guess.
bow. If he's the one with the bow, he does have sharpshooter.
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, I
It's,
just don't
it's
remember if it's
the
sharpshooter or expert shot.
it's the
but-
fan.
No, it's sharpshooter.
It's a little like D5 is all around, so I'm not gonna like pick on it too much for that. But it is kind of squishy.
Yeah.
And 28 models with only he's got like 11 riders. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. Yeah, it's there.
If he can win
He'll have
some
a good time with it.
roll-offs, yeah. If he can win some roll-offs, swing it early in his favor, he might have a really good shot on some of these.
How many more lists do we need, Victor?
We're getting there. We're almost done.
You know, the family's starting to
We'll
go
have-
on strike.
Ooh, we got all right. Well, more Fornost. more models.
I don't know. How many have we done? Sam, talk about this while I find out.
Yeah. So similar to what we had the last Fornost one, 2 more models. This guy dropped 2 knights, it looked like, to pick some stuff up. We have an alarming amount of D5 Rivendell Warriors, which is fine. We talked about it enough, man. Like, it's going to shoot. Círdan's going to knock stuff prone. Aswalth and Eornur are going to do their thing against whatever big hero that they have. Fornost is probably, in this specific meta for these 4 months, probably top 5, top 6 list. And
Yeah,
I don't think you can
Fornost.
go wrong with it.
Yep.
You got the hero hammer. You got the counters to the monster. You have
Resistance to magic.
and with Sir Dan, the magic with the blowing magic, it's really good. So it's like a mini transfix. And sometimes it might be better in transfix because you can blow models out of combat with Eornur and have them charge to someone else.
There's a lot of funky things you can do that you can bump a banner away. You can even like do some trick shots with it to set up a heroic combat. If like an enemy infantry model or hero is supported by a spear, you call Winsome. They don't get bumped out of the combat because they're blocked by the spear support, so they're prone now. My concern with this list, and it's not a big one, he only has 7 spears, or 8 spears, excuse me, and like 12 or 13 infantry models that you probably want to spear support. So you can have kind of a
Maybe
weird
drop a few
setup
of those
with that.
bows to get more spears.
I don't know what I would do with this, but I'm just kind of pontificating on it, to be totally honest.
Okay.
But look, 32 models is good at 730 points or whatever it is for getting these 3 heroes, still with a banner and still with 9 bows. So I don't think it's not a bad list by any stretch. So
Yep,
just be careful with where your spears are.
It'll do well. Next, we have Scott D with Halls of Thranduil. This is
Let me just say,
similar,
this is
but
my
there's
pick
more
to win
glaives.
the tournament.
Ah, I see.
This is my pick to
20
win the
glaives.
tournament.
This one's looking
20
good.
glaives.
Holy shit!
20 glaives.
That's a lot of
20
dice.
glaives.
A knight. There's a knight. There's 3 knights. 4 palace
Can you
guards.
support a glaive with a glaive? I mean, like, if you use the glaive move, in the front right,
No.
can
No,
you
you can't
still
do
get
that.
supported?
No, so if you want to use
You
the
have to be
glaive special
fighting
rule where
alone.
they get their 2 dice thing, you can't be supporting them. So you can have 2 glaive models on an infantry, but they both have to be engaged. But you can't support.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Yeah, glaives are really good.
You got your Beyblades.
I'm glad they gave Halls of Thranduil love this edition. They needed it.
They needed it.
Is Legolas on a horse. Haven't seen that a lot this edition. It adds an extra attack when you're charging, a lot of mobility. And I think the fun thing about this list is with only 1 bow, you're effectively burning the boats. And you're like, I'm not, there's no push-pull to sit or not play objectives. Like, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to get in combat with you and kill you. So you get rid of that, like, what do I want to do? And you just go. And Scott is, unfortunately, for my money, and I hate saying this out loud, probably the best player on the East Coast. This is my pick to win the tournament if I had to put money on it.
There we go.
I don't, because you shouldn't put money on SBG because it's a pure competition.
It's pure. We're not into that kind of thing.
Yeah, good list for sure.
Solid. Next, we have Stephen D. What do you know? He is doing Breaking of the Fellowship. This is the first time we've seen it today. Boromir, Aragorn, Boromir, Gimli, Legolas, Merry, and Frodo, Haldir, and a smattering of Lothlorien warriors. What are we thinking?
What do you guys think?
I've
got a take on it, but I want to hear what you guys think.
Like I always feel that the hero heavy list are bad. I always think they're bad because you don't have the model count. This one you're not even breaking 20. I think I just don't like him. I think it's stronger. I actually think of the of some of the other hero heavy lists that we have access to. This one is stronger because you get to bring more models in the form of the elves. But I don't think it's good. If you got the broken stuff with Balrog at A, you have the okay stuff that would do good, like that's like more fair, like Halls and Men of the West in B. I would say this is just like a C. It's not as bad as it's not as bad as just like the hero focused list because you have numbers, because you have the Lothlorien warriors.
All I'll say is it's pushing 20 might with 2 Flight 7 models, and it has a built-in blinding light. Everything has Elven Cloaks, so if you're not hitting it on 6s, you're hitting it on 4s or 5s.
High courage on the warriors. You can send them around. Yeah. Legolas is going to be, shooting power 6 bows, but it's really 9. Like, you got...
Everyone has their own little special rule built into it already. I think it can look weird, but when you play against it for the first time, and he starts he's got 5 shots with 2 heroes, and then all the elves come in, and then you have all this might for calling combats. You've got
20 might is a lot. You can't outshoot
it's a lot,
it.
Man.
You're not going to outfight it. There's so many targets for magic. Like, what are you going to do? Paralyze Legolas, Gimli, and Boromir? Then you still have Aragorn and Haldir.
Yeah.
Like, even the host of the Lich King list, yeah.
Yeah, but like, let's say you run into like what are you gonna do against the Balrog? You're outnumbered.
You say that with you can say that against every list that isn't Gorfin.
Well, yeah, but let's not.
You have Legolas in there when you strike
what are you gonna do when you're outnumbered in combat? You don't. Your stuff isn't because your heroes can Boromir even take a horse on this one? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, 6 might though.
Yeah, I know. I feel like you're kind of neutered a bit on some of these heroes because you can't take horses on them.
No, just like even your Balrog scenario, get Boromir and Aragorn in there and double strike. This is actually one of the lists that can actually fight the Balrog, which is the funnier thing that you brought that up.
Do you? I guess you can because you have 6 might on Boromir, so you strike, and Elstar gets the free point.
Peel off the goblins with your Lothlorien. Like, you can even do it pretty widespread. Can they shield with the Wood Elf spears? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that. Get your big boys in there. Mess up the Balrog.
And then you got
a
little
bunch
Legolas
of
and Gimli mini game going on. You got Legolas pumping 3 shots. Gimli comes in, even though. Is
Boromir's
every time I try
on 5s by 3s. Boromir's wounding on 5s by 3s to the Balrog.
Yeah, he is.
Or you get Gimli into him. You got Aragorn, Boromir in, call the double strike. Gimli calls a strength, 2 hands.
Huge.
You hopefully time it up so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it requires the Balrog player to make a game-losing decision.
I'm like getting Aragorn, Boromir, and Gimli into your Balrog. That sounds very difficult,
Well, I think it's going to do better than some people might think. It looks.
And here's the
strong.
thing too, and I've said this like 3 times. Steven is Scott's lesser-known brother, better painter, but worse player, but still very, very good. So it's not the list isn't in the hands of a
novice. Yeah.
Steven is unfortunately always around the podium at big events, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's up there again, unfortunately. So,
yeah,
it's a good list.
I agree. I think it's more than meets the eye. Ted running Men of the West, Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas. I think we've talked about this list many
I think
times.
Played this list before. It sucks when you
That's the
when
end.
your Gimli isn't wounding, even though he gets a +1 to wound, and when your Legolas isn't wounding as well and missing the shots, even though he hits on the 2+ and the +1 to wound. So, I've only had bad games with the Gimli Legolas combo because none of them dealt any wounds.
A Legolas on a horse is strong as fuck.
Yeah. I also played Legolas back then when like on the horse he didn't get to shoot even if he moved half.
Before the FAQ, yeah.
Yeah, before the FAQ. So
Fair enough.
now that he has a horse, it's really strong. It's +1 dice, like you were saying earlier, Sam, and he also gets to shoot. He gets to kill, like, if he charges into 2 people, he pumps all 3 shots into one guy, and then kills him, and then you kill the other guy, and because it's only a 1v, 1v1. Then you can get to heroic
32
combat.
models, not bad either for this point.
Yeah, 32 models is good.
So I think
You're
Ted
foregoing the
banner.
banner. Ted is. Again, I've said this 3 times in the last 3 lists. Unfortunately, very, very, very good.
We're
the second best
alphabetical.
one
It just
in the list
happens to be
behind
that
Scott.
way.
Yeah. Oh, we are. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
That. I think Ted playing with a mounted LSR and mounted Legolas in literally any matchup against any single player probably leads to the other player losing a lot more models than they want to.
Absolutely, yeah.
The banner thing is whatever. Like you're gonna lose VPs, sure, but you make it up with Legolas by any stretch, and a lot of money. So
I like forgoing the banner because it's only 2 lists that
2 scenarios.
Two scenarios, and mind you, the pool went from 6 scenarios to 10, so it's only 1 in 5 instead of 1/3 of the time. So
for sure, smart decision.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, then we go to Tom C. Gonna have best painted, I bet. Here we go.
Tom is an absolute legend. I don't think I've seen someone bring Azog to more tournaments than Tom has. I've never played him before.
This is the Azog list that the SOG list that I did not omit because it didn't even have the name of the army list in it.
It's also not
that I didn't input.
It's not organized at all.
Yeah,
it's just listed out how much he has. So it's kind of hard to see. He's got 2 Warbats, 3 Berserkers. He has a mercenary captain, which I don't know how they changed that. I heard they didn't change that for the better. Gundabad Orc captains, 2 of them, and Azog himself. I imagine he's on the White Warg, but I don't know.
So I don't think you can take as the White Warg.
In this one,
Gundabad. You can only take it in Pits of Velgodor, so he has to be on foot.
Really interesting. What about what is it? Legion? Azog's Legions? You can take it in that, right?
No, the only 2 lists that Azog can be taken in would be Gundabad, which is he has to be on foot, and then Pits of Velgodor.
Oh, interesting.
Or Azog's Hunters.
Azog's Hunters, yeah. Azog's
Hunters. Yeah, I knew there was one. I couldn't remember what it's called. But yeah, here it is. Quite a few Gundabads, 40 troops total. We're gonna rely on Azog.
It's an honest list. It's got I think you have the 3 board-wide effects that you can use. Just can't be repeat. Yeah. Anytime you have a bunch of Fight Force, Strength 4 models, like you can do a lot of damage, and the mercenaries can probably just plop wherever with that captain. So make some tricky plays there.
What is this army list called?
This is Gundabad.
Okay,
the Army of Gundabad.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you can use the signal tower to make models be fearful for a turn or something like that.
Isn't it a banner too? There's one banner.
Yeah, hang on, I can read it up now. So you have the Banner of Dol Guldur, which is all friendly Gundabad models count themselves as being in range of a banner.
Yeah.
Then you have the Banner of Gundabad, which means all friendly hero models can declare a heroic march for free. So you just get up very fast.
Yep.
And the Banner of Angmar which is
-1 to
effectively
courage?
it's a fury roll. So it's a natty 6, and
Fury?
you
Oh,
avoid the
okay. Nice.
and they're not once per game. You can use them at one per turn. You just can't repeat one
Like the
over and
song,
over and
like the Goblin King songs. Got it.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Goblin King in 6 months, and I've never been happier. So
Right there with you, buddy.
I played against the Goblin King once. I don't think the guy did any of the Goblin King music. I think it might have been like his first game in like years, and I just ran my LSR into his Goblin King, and because the Blueberry Mass doesn't go off because LSR's weapon is an Elven Blade weapon, and he didn't know that, so he didn't have a nice time playing, so he just he just like gave up after that.
Yeah, I mean, he's the centerpiece. If you lose him, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
Then we have Tom S., who's running the Last Alliance. This is Elrond, Isildur, Rivendell Captain, which we saw Numenor Captain, I think, last time. That's the only difference, really. There's more bows in this.
I'm going to have to call it quits, guys. Take care. Take care, chat. Yeah, sorry, I have to leave.
Dude, you can't even say your... Are you going to say your line?
Well, yeah, well, take care, everyone, and stay informed. Is that what I said? Stay informed? Yeah. I like totally forgot.
It's been a while.
I was trying to remember the other day. All right, take care, everyone.
See ya.
And stay informed. Peace.
There we go.
So with this list, I'm thinking it's as chalk Last Alliance as you get for this points level. I don't know. It is what it is. Like, it's a lot of D5, and it's going to wound. Isildur with the ring is very, very good. Rivendell Captain is a cheeky little fight 6 hero, which is nice.
You are right. It didn't say the ring on the other list.
It's concerning. You have to. It's free. So it's not like you're adding.
Yeah, I imagine it was just something he may have forgotten to check off or something. But Elrond does have a horse 100%. In this one, which is solid. I think that's gonna be good for him. You're gonna have 2 really big threats running around.
Yeah, I think this is like outside of the High Kings list, which is objectively the best way to play it. Like, you bring bows, you put them in your front line, you either shoot or they charge you, and you whirl blades them with your Rivendell dice, and then you have, a rock solid battle line that can do anything. And the sneaky thing about it is you get the captain in there to call the march or 2 if you need to get up in someone's face if they're playing a little bit cagey, like our resident Dale player that is in the car with Caleb right now.
Yes.
So it's a good list, and I just hope Tom plays aggressively and doesn't outposition himself. So he's got a good shot.
Yeah, and I think the bows are really solid on this. It's going to make people charge him, and then he's going to be able to get that pop off on the Whirl of Blade. So
for sure, it's a solid list, man.
Mm-hmm. This is me, and actually, I think this is the last list because we can talk about Alishers in a minute, but this is me. It's basically what I brought to Richmond Open. So 2 ring wraiths,
walk me through it.
Witch King of Angmar, and then 2 ring wraiths just on foot. I'm trying to maximize the magic potential here and get as many orcs as possible. So you can see I have 22 handers in the list. 1
Is
specter.
It 20?
It's 20.
Did I miscount?
Should
that
be 20.
Looks like it's
Maybe it's
27.
27.
You have 27.
Oh no, that's a mistake. I accidentally didn't check off that in the second
27
one.
is kind of electric. That's actually really, really awesome, dude.
I would love it if I had that many, but that 7 on the second warband should be spears instead of 2, and I just forgot to check it.
That's funny.
But I have a drummer as well. I have a banner, Fell Beast, and I took the 2-handed weapon and the Morgul blade, depending on the situation for the Witch King. I just kind of had a few.
No troll.
No troll. No troll.
Okay.
I didn't think I would want one. There's too many things that deal with it really easily. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, and it's really big, has a big base, You're going to need to devote things to it, like a banner. You're going to want a banner nearby it, and then the Witch King flying around is not going to have a banner if he needs one, etc. It's just, I don't know. I think having the magic is really controlling in the list.
I was going to say, I like the 3 ring wraiths. Having 3 transfixes per turn is very good. Having the orc drummer so you can move a flanking force around or reposition yourself and not have to worry about the drummer repositioning is good.
Yes.
1 Spectre, I think, is fine. I think Spectres are fun, but they're nowhere near as good as where they were. So I don't think you want to spam out 15 points when you can just get a boatload of orcs. like
Right.
you have here. Morgul Blade is smart for those cheeky little Balrog plays or whatever it is. Because like the Wisp King charging in on a fell beast at strength 6 with whatever he's doing, two-handing with a Morgul Blade is very, very good and very, very powerful.
Yeah, and then the thing is too, with all the two-handers, I'm wounding things like even elves. I'm wounding on 4s.
True. Yeah. I will say, I think my one critique would be one banner with a 50 model battle line. I think you might consider 2 to give yourself just more rerolls across what's going to be a very, very wide line.
Right.
Well, I think if you just lean into the Horde, which is what you've done, it's not the end of the world by any stretch.
Yeah, the thing is like there's a lot of times that I did run 2 banners in this list when I did Richmond Open. And the thing I found was sometimes the banners didn't matter. Like my opponent rolled a 6, outfought me. It was like, well, I could banner, but that doesn't matter. So I decided to go 1 on this one, but I'm not sure either. That was one of the things that I was tossing about.
Yeah. I think too much is like a elf main wanting banners all the time because I know I can win fights just off of one dice or whatever it might be. So I've got to get myself out of that mindset sometime. But the damage output on this is absurd. I think the other thing that people kind of forget is if you do break, your ring rates are high courage, so them staying around is a little bit easier as opposed to like a captain or a taskmaster who are more prone to running. So that helps you out. The Witch King is obviously very good. So I'm excited to see how much damage you can put out. And the other thing too is I don't think there's enough super shooty lists to really kind of fuck you up as you would find with some things. Like you're going to run into 10 bow elf lists or whatever.
Unless I run into our resident Dale player.
Yeah.
That would not be a good list for me to fight, but
no.
We'll see. Also, Minas Morgul does have a cheeky thing for some of these last alliance lists. The -1 to the ring test will be efficient if I come up against one of those.
If you run into those 2 Isildurs, just having him rolling a 2 down to a 1 on a ring check is not fun. As someone who's played Isildur a lot, it is not fun spending might on your ring check when you really need him to do something.
And then if I go up against like a necromancer list, I have the pseudo fearless for the spiders, things like that. So I don't know. I think it's pretty well rounded. I didn't want to do the 3 barrow white thing. I thought it was just too oppressive. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Fair. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the last one. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's made for. That's why Tomas thinks this list is so good, is because when we played, sometimes like turn 2 or 3, I'll have killed like 20 of his guys because I'm wounding them on what he said 3s and 4s for Minas Tirith. And so
I think another thing too, it's not a bad thing, but your might economy is a little bit low. I mean, 7 might isn't awful by any stretch, but like you're probably going to spend might on channels to get like a transfix off or whatever it might be. So like you can get a little bit out
sometimes not having a lot of might. It's true.
Yeah. I think you make up for it. Like the Witch King can hurl, get some cheeky plays there.
And typically I'll get some other heroes to burn some of their might resisting. So that's also helpful. Yeah. But yeah, that's the last one. I'll turn this off, and then we can real quick talk about Dale. I don't know what's in the list, so if you could run it.
So I'm assuming it's this. So I played Alistair at Richmond Open in Game 5 at 800 points, and he had 3 win lances, and I was 1 model off quartering him and breaking it and winning the game, but I didn't. He quartered me and won the game by 1 point, so I'm gonna fucking remember that. But
won't forget it.
2 win lances, probably 40 models, probably 15 bows. The list is everything that you don't want as an opponent in terms of having an enjoyable game that you will probably lose in the first place.
+1 to wound.
You get shot at for 2 hours. Then if you march in there, you got all these Dale bozos just +1 to wounding you. It is not an enjoyable matchup, and I don't think people should bring it to tournaments. So if you're listening to this, do not bring Dale to anything because you need to be a good opponent to people. But it's just it is what it is. It's going to sit in its deployment zone, and it's going to hope it in objective scenarios. It's going to hope it shoots you off the board, and then just runs forward and wins the game on break or whatever on that last turn, and then into the depth, it's going to be your worst nightmare. Recon, your worst nightmare.
I wonder if it's caused any like draws just because like, well, I don't want to move forward, and then the Dale player's like, well, I don't want to move forward.
Well, I've got a personal anecdote about that. That's a story for another time. But
we'll save it for another time. Good.
Luckily,
we'll bring you back on, Sam. I appreciate having you on. It's been
War
good.
Story podcast.
Well,
Dale's not fun. Dale's not a fun list to play against. And there is one other list that my friend Casey is bringing that he hasn't sent in yet, or he hasn't done whatever. But he's another Return of the King player.
Gotcha.
But I think he's bringing Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and the King of the Dead, and just less models, and just going Hero Hammer with a bunch of ghosts. So we'll see.
Very cool.
But I think Scott Drone Field wins. I think the easiest bet of all time is Ted to podium, and I think the second easiest bet of all time is Alisher will not win Sportsman of the tournament. So.
All right, so there are the 3 predictions. Well, we appreciated having you on, Sam. It was really good. You actually stayed
thanks.
focused.
It was fun to talk, and hopefully you guys aren't tired of me rambling on for 2 hours or whatever it was. But it's good being on and good talking SPG. It's a good time.
Solid, yeah. We had quite a few viewers, so we hope you all enjoyed this episode of the preview of Bilbo's Bash. We should have a review of the tournament next week.